hottest teams in the state off to 2-0 starts. Tonight, someone has to lose for the first time in 2020. Melissa has notched two very impressive wins to start their season, and Pottsboro played for a state title a year ago and has a ton of talent back to make another run. The Melissa Cardinals host the number 3 team in the state in 3A Division I, Pottsboro, next on Friday Night Football. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Melissa, Texas. Cardinal Stadium, the site tonight for Friday Night Football. I'm Mike Leslie here with you as always. Glenn Stretch Smith will join us in just a few minutes. This is a big-time matchup. Two teams that have started off the season sensationally well. The Pottsboro Cardinals, number 3 team in the state in 3A D1, and coming off a very impressive win at home against Gunner, the number 1 team in 3A D2. 34-21 the final in that one. This is a Pottsboro team that has a ton of talent back from a team that went to the state championship game just a year ago. Meanwhile, Melissa, 2 very impressive wins to start the year, knocking off state-ranked Salina on the road in week 1 by 12, and then they beat Sunnyvale, a very solid team, by 30 last week, despite turning the ball over 5 times. Tons of talent on this Melissa team. They are extremely deep. 9 different kids have scored touchdowns in just 2 games. They are really talented. This is a good test for each of these two teams that hope and expect to make deep playoff runs again this year. Of course, Pottsboro, as I mentioned, lost in the state title game last year against Grandview. Melissa went 3 rounds deep, lost to Waco La Vega, who eventually lost in the 4A D1 state championship game. Both of these teams have high expectations for the postseason, and this is a good test for each of them to see where they stand before they go into district play. Big caveat, though, in this football game will be the absence of quarterback Braden Smith from Pottsboro in the first half of this football game. He got 2 unsportsmanlike penalties. We'll dive into it a little bit later on. At least one of them was a little bit ticky-tack, but it is the letter of the law. 2 unsportsmanlike penalties last week against Gunner. As a result, he is ineligible for the first half of this football game, so Jet Carroll will be in at quarterback in place of him. Our 2 players to watch for tonight are 2 wide receivers, though. First, from Pottsboro is Titus Lyons. This kid is a 2-way player, high-quality receiver, and just a nightmare to match up with. 6'4", opposing defenses have a real tough time figuring out what to do with this kid. 17 touchdowns last year, over 1,300 yards on 75 receptions, and a preseason Mr. Texas football watch list honoree. Meanwhile, from Melissa, Damon Youngblood, another 2-way kid. He is just a flat-out football player, has made a huge impact for this team on both sides of the ball, had a pick 6 last week and a 40-yard touchdown reception. He is a special talent and should be fun to watch tonight. Let's get to the starters for tonight's game. First for the visiting Pottsboro Cardinals. We mentioned Braden Smith not playing in the first half tonight. You'll see Jet Carroll, their running back, who is also their backup quarterback, slide to the QB spot in the first half, and you'll see Major McBride and Colin Branch, a freshman McBride is, take the snaps in the backfield through the first half of play. 4 wide receivers set for them, and again, Lyons is definitely worth watching. Jake Kubik also had a big week last week for Pottsboro. Defensively, Silas Barr is the name to know in the middle. 6'5", 265 pounds. Kid is a stud. District Defensive Lineman of the Year last year as only a junior. He has got a ton of talent. Meanwhile, for Melissa on the offensive side of the ball, Sam Fennigan, their starting quarterback, but you will see a little bit of Parker Taylor, who was their preseason starter. He got hurt during camp and wasn't able to play the first 2 weeks of the year. Fennigan has played well in his stead, but you'll see the 2 of them both play quarterback tonight. Jalen Williams, Ashton Mitchell-Johnson, 2 kids you'll see out of the backfield quite a bit, and Damon Youngblood on the outside. Also Antonio Robinson. Again, this is a team that had 5 kids catch touchdown passes last week. There is tons of talent both in this starting lineup as well as with the kids that come in off the bench. Defensively for Melissa, Caden Nordberg and Parker Jack in the middle of the defense. They run the show. Dax Ogden, the leader of that defensive line, and Youngblood in the secondary. His coach says he's just an unbelievable safety. Head coaches for tonight for the Pottsboro Cardinals, Matt Poe in his 15th season at Pottsboro, again coming off a sensational year, 15-1 a year ago. And for Melissa, Matt Nally in his 2nd year as head coach, was a coordinator for this program under Seth Stinton prior to that. This one should be fun. Week 3 of the high school football season is upon us, and tonight we got one of the top games in the state. Kickoff from Cardinal Stadium is next on Friday Night Football.
first responders. The Melissa Fire Department is located on the north side of the field. The Melissa Police Department is on the south side of the field. And the Melissa School Police Department is in the middle of the field. Please give a round of applause. Now for the captains, let's do the coin toss.
We welcome you to Melissa High School on Friday Night Football on the WFAA YouTube channel. You just witnessed the tail end of a very special 9/11 commemorative ceremony put together by the Melissa Cardinals football team. We're about to have the coin toss here at midfield and then the national anthem in just a moment here on the 19th anniversary of 9/11. Captains making their way to midfield. The Pottsboro Cardinals, Titus Lyons, their senior wide receiver, and Chance Holliday, another senior from Melissa, the two captains today, part of the new UIL protocol during COVID, only one captain at midfield from each team. Our referee, Jack Scott, set to toss the coin here in just a moment, but a very special, very poignant moment as we came on the air, courtesy of the Melissa Cardinals football team, an American flag in hand for each of them as they slowly marched their way onto the football field. Underneath the sounds of Proud to be an American. So it will be Melissa football to start the football game as Pottsboro won the toss and deferred.
Melissa will kick from the north end zone.
Beg your pardon, Melissa will kick it off to start the game. Pottsboro will have football first. And now it's time for the national anthem here at Cardinal Stadium on the 19th anniversary of 9/11. Friday Night Football on the WFA Digital Network, live from Cardinal Stadium in Melissa. Mike Leslie and Glenn Stretch-Smith here with you now. Glenn, welcome to the broadcast. We appreciate you being here tonight. Our first night with a color commentator this season. We appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me. You know what the best thing about this night is? Great weather. Obviously, remembering September 11th. Mikey, we're one exit up from Buc-ee's, for crying out loud. How much better does it get than that?
Did you make a stop on your way in?
No, but I'm going to on the way back. I was a little late coming in here. You were a little worried about me.
I was getting nervous, but we're here now. We are ready for the opening kickoff here between two pairs of Cardinals. And again, it will be Pottsboro football to start the football game. And we'll get a chance to see for the first time today their junior running back playing quarterback. Jet Carroll playing in place of Braden Plyler here in the first half of play. We mentioned it in the open of the broadcast. Plyler had two unsportsmanlike penalties in their last game, a 34-21 win over the number one team in the state in 3A D2 Gunner. The first unsportsmanlike penalty, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a window into this, you can make the argument that it was a little bit ticky-tack. He pulled a kid off the pile, which just technically, by the letter of the law, is an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, even though according to his head coach, Matt Poe, he said it wasn't malicious, it wasn't anything egregious, but still an unfortunate circumstance, and he did get the unsportsmanlike penalty. The second one, Stretch, a little bit more, I wouldn't call it egregious, but a little more intentional perhaps. Interception was thrown by the Gunner quarterback. Play came toward the Pottsboro sideline, and Plyler made a little bit of a snide comment to the quarterback of Gunner, said, hey, nice throw, number one. Got flagged for that as well. Again, neither of them are horrible instances necessarily, but by the letter of the law, 2 unsportsmanlike penalties, ejected from that game, and can't play the first half tonight. So Jack Carroll will play quarterback.
And, Mike, you have to hope that that young man learns from that. I mean, this is a situation where, you know what, hey, it may have been unfortunate that one of the calls, we could question that, but you know what? You can't get to yapping. You live and you learn in those situations.
No doubt, no doubt. It will be Pottsboro football first, with Carroll playing quarterback in the first half. You'll see an awful lot of number 10, the freshman running back, Major McBride, and number 13, the senior running back, Colin Branch. The two of them will rotate in with Carroll when he moves back to the running back position in the second half as well. But it will be Carroll at quarterback to start, McBride and Branch in the backfield for the Pottsboro Cardinals offense. These are two teams that are off to fantastic starts this year, Stretch. Both of them 2-0. Melissa, a 32-20 win over a state-ranked Salina team, and then blew the doors off Sunnyvale last week, 58-28, despite 5 turnovers. This is a team that's very, very deep in talent.
And you got to think they're not going to turn the ball over like that, Mike. You know what? That's preseason type numbers to turn that ball over. They're not going to do that anymore. You're not going to see a football team go out, make those kind of turnovers and win. So I think this is a heck of a night, and what a perfect night for football. Holy cow, Mikey. We got no breeze, and it's about, 75 degrees. It's perfect.
It couldn't be a better September day than what we're seeing here today in Melissa. Ready for kickoff between two sets of Cardinals. It'll be Luke Hansen to kick it away for Melissa. And deep to return for the Pottsboro Cardinals, a trio from Pottsboro, Titus Lyons among them. The kick will come up the middle in the hands of Jet Carroll. And Carroll able to make his way out across the 25 to the 27. That's where Pottsboro's first offensive possession of the day will begin.
Yeah, you know what? Try to get a return up the middle, Mike. Well covered.
So to start off, again, it's Carroll at quarterback. It looks like he'll be alone in the backfield to start this one. Titus Lyons, Grayson Watson, Jake Kubik, and Jackson Lipscomb, the 4 starting receivers for Pottsboro. We'll get to the offensive lineman here after 1st and 10. Carroll looking at the sideline already to figure out what they'll do here on play number 1 of week 3 of the Texas high school football season. 8 seconds on the play clock here on 1st and 10. Carroll going to go to the air right off the rip and going deep up the seam. Has a man behind the defense. Nice catch made by Jake Kubik. And after 1 snap, Pottsboro's across midfield.
Good throw and catch right there, Mike. You see they go an empty set and hit the seam. Now you see initially Melissa lines up in a 3-3 look, and they were man across, and you know what? He took advantage.
So 1st and 10, mark it right at the 40 in Melissa territory. And Carroll showing that he can throw the football a little bit. Kubik doing a nice job of running underneath it. And now you'll see Colin Branch saddled to the right of Carroll on 1st and 10. Andrew Papo, Gage Golden, Daniel Graham, Landon Simpson, and Silas Barr, the starting offensive linemen left to right. Handoff up the middle, and not a ton of running room, but a little bit for Branch, and he picks up about 3.
Little zone read inside. You know what? When you throw the ball as much as this team does, Mike, you got to slow the rush down some way, and that's what they're going to do with a little zone read inside.
Melissa's defense, Isaiah Cherry, Justin Mays, Dax Ogden, the 3 down linemen. Ogden really the leader of that defensive front. Here on 2nd down and 7, and Carroll's going to keep it himself. Again, he's ordinarily their starting running back, so it won't be a surprise to see him carry the football out of the backfield quite a bit here in half number 1 as Braden Plyler sits for the first 24 minutes. Luke Fowler, Parker Jack, Caden Nordberg, Cale Brakebill, the starting linebackers for Melissa. Chance Holliday and Carlos Branch, the corners. Dylan Herron and Damon Youngblood, the 2 starting safeties. And we do have a player down after 2nd down and 7. See if we can get an eye on who that is from the Melissa Cardinals.
Really nice play by Jack Parker there. He was not fooled at all. He came up in there and made the stick. I can't tell, Mike, who that is that's down right now.
I wonder if we can get a little bit of a tighter shot and see maybe what number. Oh, there we go, 48. The number, that's Dax Ogden. We talked about him just a moment ago. Really one of the leaders of the defensive front for this Melissa Cardinals football team, and quite hobbled as he makes his way off the field, supported by 2 trainers from Melissa. John Poe, the trainer, beg your pardon, Seth, Jose Mendez and Nicholas St. James, the 2 trainers for the Melissa Cardinals, and they help Ogden off the football field. You'll see a little bit of Hayden Knopfziger. Nigel Smith, a really impressive freshman, come on the field in place of Ogden. We'll see if he can make his way back on the field tonight. Throw on the right-hand side, nice catch, rangy catch from Titus Lyons right at the sticks, and it looks like he'll have not quite enough for first down yardage.
Yeah, run a hitch outside and try to see if they can make somebody miss, but now they're in a manageable 4th down situation, Mike. You got to think they're going to go for it right here. Interesting, you know what, initially Pottsboro's lined up in really 3 different formations. They were in an empty set, they were in a 2-by-2 set. They've come out and tried to do some different things.
So it'll be 4th down and a long 1. Carroll will be in shotgun. And it looks like it's Branch to his right. Carroll's going to take it himself straight ahead, 1st down.
On a little quarterback read inside there, little quarterback lead. Got the 1st down, moved the sticks.
Pottsboro last week, as the number 3 team in 3A Division I, hosted the number 1 team at the time in 3A Division II, Gunner. Beat him 34-21, a big night for Braden Plyler. 2 touchdowns through the air, 2 more on the ground. 109 rushing yards and 189 through the air. He is very productive, a kid they'll assuredly miss here in the first half, but a nice opening drive here from Pottsboro behind Jet Carroll. He's in shotgun again on 1st and 10, hands for Branch. Branch with some running room into the 2nd level and cut down, as that's Damon Youngblood knifing across to make the play, but a nice run for...
Good read there. They run that zone read into the short side of the field, Mike. I don't know if you saw they had trips set to that short side. They all ran off. They ran that zone read in there, picked up 8 yards.
It'll be 2nd down.
Now they've got Melissa's defense on their heels. They've come out and showed some different things offensively, and you know what? They are almost in the red zone right here.
Just on the outside of it, ball sitting at the 21-yard line for 2nd down and 2. Branch again with the handoff, cut back, and he'll have enough for the 1st down, and they are now officially inside the red zone. It'll be 1st and 10.
It'll be 3rd and real short here, Mike.
Did he not quite get it? Looks like they are going to mark him just a hair shy. Good call. 3rd and real short. I mean, just looking at the 2 sticks side by side on the far sideline, it's probably less than a foot to pick up the 1st down, but he is short.
Hey, Mike, don't be surprised here with him going forward on 4th down a while ago. Don't be surprised to see him take a shot versus a 0 coverage look right here. No deep safety and a 2-by-2 look.
And now whistles prior to the snap.
Out of timeout.
Yep.
They spotted something they didn't like or spotted something they liked right there. Mike took a timeout.
Mike Leslie and Glenn Strutch-Smith here with you on the WFAA Digital Network YouTube Live, our platform this year. 3.5 gone by in quarter number 1. Still scoreless, but Pottsboro threatening here, facing 3rd and very short from just inside the 20-yard line. Melissa, meanwhile, we mentioned it earlier, very impressive win over Salina to start the year on the road against a state-ranked Salina team. And then last week, a 58-28 win over Sunnyvale, another team that's expected to be very good this year. Melissa's head coach, Matt Nally, just raves about how deep this football team is. They've got 9 different kids who have scored touchdowns in 2 games. And that's not including the quarterback throwing for touchdowns.
And
9
that
different
comes
kids.
From a proud coach, right? That's very proud. You got to develop guys like that. And
Yep.
you got to believe it's something in the water out here in Melissa, and that's what they're doing.
So out of the timeout, it'll be third down and 1.
Set now, Mike. Look at that safety cheating down at the top down here. You see that? They got one-on-one outside. Let's see if they take a shot.
3rd and 1 for Carroll. He's going to run it straight forward, trying to get to the right side and stood up.
Not gonna get it.
Big defensive play by Parker Jack. It'll depend on the spot, but it looks like he's short again.
They were having none of that. Melissa brought both of those safeties down, Mike. You see that? And they brought the linebackers. They were having none of that look. 4th and, hey, they lost a half a yard right there.
Yes, they did. Officially on the scoreboard here in house, they say 4th and 2. Looks about 4th and 1. They are not going to go for the field goal here. Jacob McDonald has range out to about 40.
They're not going to let him run the ball. They better get ready to throw it here.
Carroll out of shotgun. Following his blockers right side, he's got the first down.
Woo. Ran it inside that time. They tried to go outside a while ago. This time they went inside, found a little crease, picked up the first down.
So a fresh set of downs for Pottsboro. A team that last year's stretch went 15-1. Their only loss coming in the state championship game against Grandview, 42-35 in the state final. Just a magical run for this program through the postseason. And this year they feel like they've got a lot of talent back to try and go for it again. Going end zone here on 1st and 10, and it's picked off. Intercepted in the end zone, and it's Damon Youngblood who makes the play.
Almost
and Melissa takes it back.
There, Mike. He almost made the pick. Now they saw man coverage. He made the right read, but he underthrew the ball.
Did he not hang on to it?
No, he didn't hang on to it.
My apologies. I thought he hung on to it. I'm not sure how he dropped it.
Yeah, no, it was.
Well, thank you for keeping me honest, Stretch. My apologies, and it'll be 2nd and 10. I thought he made the interception, but slipped through the hands of Youngblood, and it's 2nd down and 10. Carroll's going to run right. Pick up about 6.
Carroll over right tackle.
You have to think right now, Mike, this is going to be Pottsboro's. You know what, this game plan-wise, they're trying to keep the football. They're going to try to run this clock down, keep the football, keep away from, win the time of possession battle. A lot like they do in the NFL, right?
3rd and 3 from the 8.
They're doing a good job of it so far. Already 5 minutes and change gone off the clock here in quarter number 1. And Melissa's yet to touch the football. 3rd down and 3 for Carroll out of shotgun. Going to go to the air. Over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Caden Nordberg was there to get a hand on the football, and it goes through the hands of Titus Lyons, incomplete.
Caden Nordberg almost picked that off. That safety sitting in the middle of the field right there. Mike, that's 2 picks that they should have had. Now it's 4th and 3. Looks like they're going to bring on the field. They can bring it on the field goal unit here.
Certainly appears that way. Jacob McDonald, their senior kicker, last year hit from as deep as 37. This one with the football sitting on the 15 will be a 25-yard field goal from the right hash. Jackson Lipscomb, the holder.
Oh.
And it's through, and we're underway here on Friday Night Football as Pottsboro takes an early 3-0 lead. So for an offense stretch playing without their starting quarterback, a decent drive to start the football game.
Really good drive. Come out and pick up 2 4th downs. They run that quarterback. He's not afraid to run it and hit it in there. That's a good drive. Take some time off the clock. Would they have liked to gotten away with gotten from with the touchdown out of that drive? They would, but good to convert, get the field goal.
And frankly, this is a Pottsboro team that is so much better when Braden Plyler is on the football field. Get to that halftime mark in a football game, and obviously if you're Matt Poe, you like your chances just that much more.
Oh, Melissa going to get a chance to get the football here.
Melissa's offense, another team that is having an interesting season at the quarterback position. Sam Fennigan, the starter tonight. Parker Taylor was their preseason starter, got hurt in camp. Then they had Ryan Johnson as their second-team quarterback. He starts the opener against Salina, throws all of 1 pass for a touchdown, and then breaks his collarbone, and now he's done for the year. So Fennigan, the third-string quarterback, who last year was the starter at Woodrow Wilson, and he's played very well through these first 2 games. As on the return, it's
Gotta
Antonio
see,
Robinson, and Robinson's out across the 40. Robinson to the near sideline. Makes a man miss right at midfield, but cut down there. And a nice return from Antonio Robinson, and Melissa will start in Pottsboro territory.
Antonio Robinson, the guy they want to get the football to. You can tell that. One time they get the ball, they kick it right to him. Nice return. Gets him into plus territory just out above, or just out in front of midfield.
So 1st and 10 for Melissa. And you will see, by the way, Parker Taylor tonight. It's Finnegan to start the football game, but Taylor is starting to get healthier. So you'll see number eight out there, quarterback, a few times tonight here. But the snap goes by Finnegan, and he's just got to fall on it. Probably a smart decision with 4 Pottsboro Cardinals bearing down on him.
Well, Mikey, I don't know if you can see this or not, but they are giving Antonio Robinson so much respect. This corner was almost 12 yards off down here. Look how far he's off. Look how far he's off. You could throw a hitch out here all day.
Antonio Robinson, a stud wide receiver with offers from all over the place, including Arizona. This time they go to the opposite sideline, though. Complete and breaking the first tackle was Colton Whitwer, and he's down inside the 45-yard line as they earn back.
Good throw and catch right there. Get back in a manageable 3rd and, 6-5, 3rd and long 5.
Have to get to the 39-yard line in Pottsboro territory to pick up a first down. 2 backs in the backfield alongside Finnegan. 2 wides to the bottom of the formation. Another high snap, but he corrals it, throws it on the far side, complete for Whitwer. That's enough for a first down. And back-to-back completions to the 6'1 senior. And Melissa moves the sticks.
Good job, Micah, grabbing that snap. Now he's throwing a hitch out there. He grabs that snap, throws it right now, and converts on the first down.
We mentioned Pottsboro went deep in the playoffs last year all the way to the state championship game where they lost to Grandview. Melissa also with a very nice run last year, three rounds deep in the playoffs. As the throw comes to the near side, that's Robinson. Makes the catch, steps out of bounds at the 26. And that's just a hair shy of first down. Oh, no, they are going to say enough for first down yardage. And they move the chains.
Good job. They throw the comeback just like we were talking about, Mike, versus that soft coverage. Now they're going to get up in the red zone here and play him a little tighter.
They signaled first down. Then they say it's 2nd down and short. They'll go to the air to try and earn it. Not enough. No flag as there was some contact against Whitwer. And it'll be 3rd and short.
Well, I thought he'd converted on that first down, too. I thought this line judge down
He absolutely
here
signaled first down. Yeah.
And they said, no, it's not. 3rd and short here.
They don't need much. Need to get just beyond the 26-yard line, and the ball sits right on it. And for the first time today, they'll go to the ground, and that is more than enough. As breaking tackles and picking up the first down is Ashton Mitchell-Johnson.
Nice run right there. Run a little lead up inside.
And quickly back to the line of scrimmage. That is something Melissa will do a lot of. Pump fake, Finnegan, end zone, Robinson just a bit too far.
Now try to run a little two-pump right there, and the corner was having none of that. Really nice job of coverage by the Pottsboro corner.
Mentioned Melissa went deep in the playoffs last year, 3 rounds deep, lost to Waco La Vega 45-42 in the regional semis. La Vega went on to lose in the state championship game, so they were just that close. As Mitchell-Johnson gets the handoff up the middle, Ashton Mitchell-Johnson to the end zone.
On the draw inside, well blocked. He walked in right there, Mike.
A 17-yard touchdown run from Ashton Mitchell-Johnson, and Melissa finds pay dirt first. And Stretch, quite the opposite of what we saw in the opening drive from Pottsboro, taking 5 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock to score. Melissa comes back and scores in a minute and 31 seconds. A minute and 31 second long drive, and Melissa goes down the field. And that goes off the goalpost and no good.
Hit the upright.
Luke Hansen can't punch it through. And it will be 6-3 in favor of Melissa. But Ashton Mitchell-Johnson doing the job. And like you said, Stretch, just walked into the end zone. Very well blocked in front.
Left guard, 17 yards for the Melissa touchdown.
The Melissa Cardinals just on the outside of the top 10 rankings in 4A Division I. Pottsboro number 3 in the state in 3A Division I. Two very evenly matched football teams, and two teams giving each other basically a good test here in the non-district to get themselves ready for, one, difficult districts, but also what they hope, again, will be deep runs in the postseason.
Well, you watch them take that football right down the field and score, you can tell this is a well-oiled machine offensively.
Friday Night Football here on the WFA Digital Network. YouTube Live, our platform this year. If you're watching on YouTube Live, please drop a comment in the live chat and let us know where you're watching from, who you're tuning in to see. If you're watching maybe a nephew or a cousin, a grandson perhaps, let us know who you're tuning in to watch and who you're rooting for tonight. Fair catch called for, and making it on the slide for Pottsboro is Cole Bynum, and that's where they'll take over.
20-yard line, that's a dangerous situation, Mike.
Yeah.
You can't let that ball hit the ground, and it was kind of in between where your deep guys couldn't make the run up and get it. He had to make the run back, slid down and caught it at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, they'll mark it right at the 25. And 1st and 10 as we see Jet Carroll and company come back on the football field. Again, Braden Plyler, the all-star quarterback for Pottsboro, ineligible for the first half of play tonight as we have a whistle on the far side as our referee, Jack Scott, comes to the near sideline. Having a discussion with one of the assistants from Melissa. Seemed to be some sort of admonishing. I'm not exactly sure about what, but he communicated that to the coaches in the box. And we're ready for drive number 2 of the day here for the Pottsboro offense as Carroll will be in shotgun once again. 3 wides to the bottom of the formation. Pressure shown from Melissa's defense as they run it on the near side. That's the freshman, Major McBride. And look at the freshman go. Cut down as he got across the 35, right to the 35. Near side line judge signaling first down, but I have already learned not to trust that necessarily. We'll see.
Yeah, interesting, Mike. They run that hand sweep to the trip side where they had numbers. Got them blocked up. Nice game, 10 yards.
Headlinesman says it is indeed a first down. Harold Lathan, our headlinesman tonight. Dontrell Pennington, the umpire. Scotty Mills, the line judge. Walter Butler, our back judge tonight. 1st and 10 from the 35. Carroll and the freshman McBride in the backfield. And again, it goes to McBride. And a flag behind the play.
Looked like a holding there. Anytime it's backside of a hand sweep, usually it's a guy grabbing and holding.
350 of you watching with us right now on YouTube Live. If you would, please hit the like button and also send this feed to your friends. Share the link with your friends and family in the Melissa and Pottsboro communities. Anybody that might want to tune in for this football game between two of the best in the state in their respective levels. Giving each other a little test here in week number 3 of the high school football season. They'll walk off the penalty back to the 25-yard line, and that sets up 1st down and 20.
That hurts Pottsboro, Mike. I mean, you got the backup quarterback in there. He leads you on an okay drive, and then you get caught on a first down for holding. Takes you back. It's going to be 1st and 20.
We've seen that Carroll can throw it, maybe not to the level that Plyler can, but he can get the job done. They swing it on the near side with a screen, trying to set it up, and not a whole lot of running room for Jake Kubik, and he's slung down. Give him maybe 2 on the play.
Yeah, try to throw a little tunnel screen outside and come back underneath where you can get your offensive lineman in space blocking. Melissa having none of that. Good job of chasing the football.
So 2nd and 18 now as we've ticked under 4 minutes to play in the opening frame. Three wides to the top of the formation. Melissa showing blitz, now backing off of it. And now whistles prior to the snap, and it looks like it's going to be a delay of game.
What's the defense playing this 3-4, Mike, and then they bring those backers up in the gaps. Can be a little confusing for you, and that's what took so long to get that play off. The play clock expired.
Everything just gets that much more complicated when you've got your backup quarterback on the football field. These are circumstances that certainly Braden Plyler is accustomed to. He played all the way through a 16-game season a year ago. One of the best quarterbacks in the state, a Mr. Texas football watch list honoree prior to the season. He's used to all of this stuff. Trying to ask Jet Carroll to do all that is tough. But here he goes to the air, and that's going to be intercepted. That one is hung on. Carlos Branch with the pick, and now he's back inside Pottsboro territory. Branch inside the 15. Branch cuts back. Touchdown, Melissa.
You could see that when he picked that ball off, Mike. You could hear everybody holler, Oski. They got a wall, and he took it right into the boundary for a touchdown. That's a heck of a play by that young man.
Carlos Branch with the interception returned for a touchdown. Melissa had a pick six last week against Sunnyvale, and they've got one here today as Carlos Branch doing the honor, leaping to make the grab right about midfield and taking it to the house. Looks like Melissa will go for two here to try and get to a more typical football number of 14. Two wides to the top of the formation. Handoff goes to Mitchell Johnson. No, it's play action. They throw it on the near side. That's their big tight end. Stretching for the end zone.
Oh, and they called it good.
And they're going to say he got in just barely.
The big fella. The big fella caught it. The big fella.
Good hands. And just too big to take down. And the two-point conversion is good, and it's 14-3. That's Hayden Knopfziger wearing 90 tonight. We had him as 42 on the roster that Coach Nally gave us, but hey, he's in the end zone. That's all that matters.
Mike, that's a two-point play they've worked on for a while. They were able to run it right there. You could tell the whole sidelines erupted when he was able to get that ball in the end zone.
So two scores from the Melissa football team in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. The second coming on a 52-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Melissa off to a very good start here in quarter number one.
55-yard interception for a touchdown.
Officially, they'll call it 55 yards in-house.
Finnegan to Hayden Knopfziger for the two-point conversion.
So Melissa set to kick it away. Lyons to return from his own 13. Lyons able to pick his way out to the 30-yard line. I'll mark him officially at the 29.
Now, Mike, right now, Pottsboro's got to. They can't go 3 and out right here because this game could get out of control quick. You know what? You've got to try to run this clock until you can get that starter or quarterback back in there.
Yeah. We saw a very effective opening drive from Pottsboro, peeling 5 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock on their opening possession as they drove down for a 25-yard field goal for Jacob McDonald. But then very quickly, Melissa answered with a touchdown and then the pick six, and very quickly it's 14-3 in favor of Melissa. Handoff up the middle.
Right now, Mike, this Melissa defense is going to force Pottsboro to throw the football. They're outnumbered out wide. Watching their trip set, they've only got 2 outside, then a half player, and he's playing inside the box to keep them from running that football.
2nd and 8 it will be after a pickup of 2. Pottsboro sends Kubik and Watson to the bottom of the formation. Ball through the legs of Carroll, and he just has to pounce on it. He probably had more time than he realized, but made the safe play.
Second drive in a row, Mike. This offense is not in sync, and when you're missing your quarterback, really magnified in these situations.
Under 2 to play here in the first quarter, but already a 14-3 advantage for the Melissa Cardinals. As offensively and defensively, things are clicking for Melissa. 3rd down and 16 now, staring in the face of the junior Jet Carroll, the backup quarterback for Pottsboro. On the field due to 2 unsportsmanlike penalties by Braden Plyler last week against Gunner that has him out for the first half tonight. Carroll's going to roll near side, pressure in his face, trouble, and he's taken down. Just couldn't get away. And Cale Brakebill comes through to make the sack. Another big loss for the Pottsboro offense. It's 4th and a mile, and the Cardinals will have to punt it.
Great job by Brakebill. He wasn't going to let him get outside right there. It was his job to contain the pocket. Great job of making the tackle.
4th and 21 officially, and Pottsboro will punt it away. Jackson Lipscomb, their punter, with his heels on the 4-yard line, so they're going to need a good snap here from Titus Lyons, their deep snapper. Square in the chest. And Lipscomb sends it up the middle. That ball's bobbled, but quickly jumping on top of it is Melissa's Colton Whitwer. Some contact there at the end, but I think the officials recognized he's diving in there to try and make a play on a loose ball.
And they were trying to pull off. They didn't jump in there going for the ball.
Yeah.
That's a good no call right there in those situations.
But great field position now once again. Melissa in a fantastic situation starting 1st and 10 at the 44.
Well, they've started, Mike, they started their first possession on the 49. Then they got the interception for the touchdown. Now they're starting at the 44.
So Melissa yet to take a snap in their own territory tonight. 1st and 10. And here comes Fennigan with a lot of pressure, and this time Pottsboro gets to him. Combining on the sack is Silas Barr and Jackson Lipscomb. And that's the play that Pottsboro needed desperately.
Absolutely. They needed a big play defensively. Great job up front getting pressure on him. They tried to run the little play action. They were looking to throw the ball deep. No time.
So 2nd down and a little over 20 it appears. Handoff up the middle. And they'll earn back a couple of those yards. And that will be the final play of quarter number 1. A very strong start for the Melissa Cardinals. 14-3 the lead over number 3 Pottsboro after 1.
Mike, no way I can hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. I'm just hearing you up there. It's all right. We can wait to the half if we have to. That did something right there. It did something. I don't know.
So to start quarter number 2, it'll be 3rd down and 18 here for Melissa. Fennigan will be in shotgun. 3 wides to the bottom of the formation here, stretches. They're going to try and make something happen on 3rd and a mile. Fennigan, flushed.
Again.
Has a man, though, bobbled and hung on to it, appears. It's going to be short of the 1st down line. Colton Whitwer able to hang on to it as he and Tyler Ferris were in a wrestling match over that football. Tyler Ferris, by the way, has experience with that kind of play. I'll get back to that in a moment, but right now it is 4th down.
4th and 7, Mike, and it looks like...
It said 4th and 7 on the scoreboard, but it looks like more about 4th and 4, 4 or 5, yeah.
And it looks like they're going to go for it.
Fennigan out of shotgun. And now whistles, I believe.
And Pottsboro called the timeout. They had the wrong personnel in the game.
Half the players on the field thought there was a timeout. The other half were it almost kind of went slow motion there for a moment, but definitely a stoppage here before 4th down and 5. Still no official signal from the officials, though, as to who called timeout or if there even was a timeout. This may just be an official's timeout.
What they're probably talking about here, Mike, is substitution. And when you get a substitution, you have to give the defense time to substitute.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're talking about right there. They're not going to charge them a timeout. They're going to give them the chance to substitute.
And Ferris left the football field because he had his helmet pop off, so he can't play here on 4th down and 4.5, they're going to say now. Now some flags before the snap. They throw it on the near side. Complete to Whitwer for the first down. We'll check the flag, but based on the positioning of it, it will probably be on the defense.
They went up and tried to hard count them right there on that 4th and 5. Got them to jump. And then they were able to convert, throwing the hitch outside.
Obviously a declined penalty on the offside against Pottsboro. 1st and 10 for Melissa as they connect, and it's Whitwer once again. So 2 big connections from Finnegan to Whitwer. One on 3rd and forever, and then converting on 4th and 4.
Look how soft these corners are, Mike. I mean, that's the thing. They're scared of their speed right now.
Snap on the ground. Finnegan has to pick it up and just scramble for it. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage, but no further. It'll be 2nd and 10.
We're seeing some snap issues really from both sides. We're seeing some snap problems. 2nd and 10.
Finnegan looking near side. Has a man in the end zone. Touchdown.
I got the slot wide open there, Mike. They got the slot open. He ran the slant, and when he did, he saw there was no safety there, was able to throw that ball right behind him.
Jack Richardson on the receiving end, and Melissa scores again. It is 20-3. A fantastic start for Melissa. We've got the swinging gate working now. But it looks like they will indeed line up for the PAT. The first one clanged off the upright. We'll see if they can have more success here on their 2nd attempt. They're going to fake it. Either that or the snap went a little bit awry. Trying to run for it now. Firing into the end zone. Is it snagged? Yes, it is. Throw 2 more on the board.
Situation and converted it. Wow.
What a sequence for Melissa to be able to pull that off. And they've got a 22-3 lead on the number 3 team in the state in 3A Division I.
They got a fire call right there, Mike. Another bad snap. But you know what? They didn't quit playing. He rolled out and found somebody and got to hit him on the 2-point conversion.
So Finnegan to Jack Richardson. And it is 22-3. Apologies for our issues with the camera there for a moment. Our cameraman, we are a 3-man crew. It is me, Stretch, and a cameraman. And when the cameraman has to use the restroom, the cameraman has to use the restroom. Raul Garcia, our cameraman tonight, does a fantastic job for us, but just inopportune timing. He had to run at the quarter break, and so for these first 51 seconds we've been without him. Hopefully he'll be back here momentarily, but I'll kind of play double duty here for as long as we need to.
Well, you'll have to, because I guarantee you Stretch ain't got a clue how to operate that thing. I'm scared to trip over some wire up here. The elephant I am. I'm over here in my little old corner. 22-3, Mike. Right now, this game could get out of control. If Pottsboro can't do something offensively, this one could get out of control.
Yeah, Pottsboro really needs to get something going here. We'll see if they can start something here on this possession, but a 22-3 deficit thanks to a fantastic start by the Melissa Cardinals. Kickoff up the near sideline. Fielded at the 4 by Kubik. And we'll see if Pottsboro can finally get something going. Not on the kickoff return at the very least, as knifing through to make the play was Bryson Neely. And it's going to be less than advantageous field position here for Pottsboro.
Pottsboro, right now, Mike, they're going to have to figure out a way to string a couple of first downs together, because they need to get to the halftime so they can get their quarterback back. But 2, they cannot give this ball back to Melissa, who is absolutely running up and down the field offensively.
So back comes Carroll with the freshman McBride to his right. 3 wides to the top of the formation, and they're already running out of time on the play clock. They need to get the snap off quickly here before the umpire realizes that they've gone double zeros. They managed to pull it off. Somehow the umpire didn't see it, and McBride, the freshman, with a nice carry here on the first play of the drive, gets out to the 24.
Now they're seeing something they like out of that trips when they got those trips wides out there, Mike, and they're able to hand that hand sweep. And they have had some pretty good success with that. Now they're going to go trips down here to the field.
It'll be 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard carry from McBride. 4 carries for 43 yards last week. They certainly need more from him this week, especially in this first half, as he and Colin Branch kind of pick up the slack for Jet Carroll, who's in there at quarterback for Plyler. So far, McBride's done a nice job, as has Colin Branch. But they need more, and they need points here. They need some sort of positive momentum at minimum here for Pottsboro to kind of get something going. Carroll's going to carry himself up the left side, but a flag behind the play. Enough for first down yardage, but we'll check the flag.
Looks like we're going to get a holding again. He went backside with the quarterback sweep out there, and it looks like you're going to get a holding.
Dontrell Pennington, our umpire, signaling preliminarily anyway to Jack Scott, our referee, that is indeed the case.
It's the second big holding call, Mike, that they've had. This is when you don't have your starting quarterback in there and you're constantly playing behind the chains.
Yeah.
It's very difficult in these situations. Take it back and make it a 2nd and about 15.
They'll call it 14 officially here, just about 2 minutes into quarter number 2. And again, just to elaborate on your point, when you've got your backup quarterback, who is ordinarily your starting running back, you get behind the sticks, it makes it almost impossible to solve that problem. You're putting the offensive coordinator in a very difficult spot. Mark Towery, the OC for Pottsboro. Handoff for Branch, and he stood up. Beg your pardon, it's McBride again on the carry.
Try to run that little outside sweep again to that trips receiver side. It looks like Melissa has adjusted defensively to what's going on.
Caden Nordberg coming through to make the play. Nordberg, a kid that head coach Matt Nally said just really wants to be great. He said he's got that attitude that he just wants to be the best linebacker that Melissa has ever produced. And certainly showing a little bit of his ability right there. Maybe a gain of a yard on 2nd and 14, 3rd and a baker's dozen. They've got to get out to the 28-yard line for a first down. Carroll rolling left, firing deep up the left sideline, and that's going to be out of bounds, uncatchable. And once again, Pottsboro is going to have to punt the football away. 9:17 to play in the second. And if you're a Pottsboro fan, those 9 minutes and 17 seconds cannot go fast enough.
They cannot, and unfortunately, that's the second 3 and out that they've had the football. And again, penalties, backup quarterback. I mean, right there, they tried to roll that pocket and just let him get the ball outside. He threw it out of bounds. Not only did it stop the clock, but now it's 4th and 15 from your own 15.
And once again, it's Lipscomb with his heels almost in his own end zone at this point, standing right at the 2. Another good snap, though. Fair catch made for Melissa by Whitwer. And again, outstanding field position.
Every drive tonight in plus territory. Is that enough to tell you you had an interception return for a touchdown, and then you've started every drive, Mike, inside the plus territory?
I mean, it just makes for a almost impossible situation. Tim Short, his 4th year as defensive coordinator for Pottsboro, you almost kind of look at your own offense. I mean, and it's no knock against Pottsboro. They're playing without their starting quarterback. There are a lot of things working against them right now. As for the first time today, we see Parker Taylor on the field for the Melissa offense. And pushing forward, ball came out at the end of the play.
He looked like he dropped that ball on the ground, Mike.
We'll see what the officials say here. Looks
blowing
like
it dead.
I mean, it certainly looked like a Pottsboro player came out of the pile with the football. The coaching staff from Pottsboro cannot believe it, but they're going to say this stays with Melissa. Some boos from the far sideline.
But, boy, they thought he dropped that ball on the ground on the other bench.
Boos from the far sideline.
They're going to get a flag right here, Mike. It looks like PI.
Parker Taylor's pass falls incomplete, but there is a flag on the play. Pass intended for Jacob Cusano.
And it is indeed pass interference against the Pottsboro defense. Penalties have been a huge problem for Pottsboro in this first half. I'm not sure what the confusion is here. They need to move the football, and it'll be a fresh set of downs for Melissa. 400 of you watching with us right now on Friday Night Football on the WFA YouTube channel. Again, please share this stream around with your friends and family. Let them know that they can tune in for two of the better teams in the state in their respective levels. Melissa just on the outside of the 4A Division I state rankings, the top 10. They only rank 10 in everything from 5A D1 on down. 25 in 6A, who has not yet started their season. Neither have 5A D1 or 5A D2. 4A D1 and on down to 1A, they've started their seasons. And they're playing week 3 tonight. Handoff up the middle. Braden Smith. First time we've seen him tonight. Braden Smith is another key piece of this Melissa football team. He's supposed to be their starting running back, but who's hurt the first couple weeks of the season. He broke his hand stretch at church camp on a slip and slide.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he didn't play the first couple of weeks of the season. Nice defensive play here by Tyler Ferris as they tried to swing it out on the near side for Chance Holliday.
I tried to throw that little wide receiver screen out there. Heck of a play by that young man.
I mentioned Ferris earlier, how he had experience trying to rip the football away from somebody. Made an outstanding play in the state semifinal last year to clinch that football game. They led 36-35. And Brock tried to run a trick play. He wasn't fooled, came over top of the play and made an interception by ripping the ball away from the receiver, who was actually the quarterback from Brock on this trick play. Pulled it out of his hands in the end zone. Could have been a game-winning touchdown for Brock. Instead, a game-winning interception for Pottsboro, and they moved on to the state championship game. He nearly did the same earlier, but right there, a heck of a tackle.
On that inside zone, sets him up for 4th and 4 here, Mike.
Handoff. It's Braden Smith cutting outside. Smith, enough for the first down. Nearly had an awful lot more, but that will be enough to convert on 4th down and 3. And Braden Smith healthy for the first time this season and showing it here on this drive.
Well, he almost jumped outside of that little ankle tackle right there, too, and if he had done it, he was gone to the house.
What a start this is for Melissa. And really an important spot here for the Pottsboro defense. He's going to keep it himself, this Parker Taylor. Taylor to the end zone. Flag behind the play. They're going to signal touchdown, but there is a flag behind the play sitting at the 11-yard line. It was thrown by the referee, Jack Scott.
Mike, they'd run that inside zone, run that inside zone, run that inside zone, and then he pulls it and keeps it as a walk into the end zone.
But it will come back on a hold against this Melissa offense.
Bring it back for holding. Now, anytime you see a quarterback get the edge that quick, Mike, usually you're going to see a flag.
But what a moment this is for Melissa, independent of having the touchdown taken off the board, but to see their starting quarterback, at least as it was designed preseason in Parker Taylor, out on the football field and looking sharp, and to see Braden Smith, their starting running back, their bell cow when he's healthy, also out on the field and looking sharp. Here it is Smith who gets the carry, this time nowhere for him to go, as Silas Barr, the defensive lineman of the year last year in Pottsboro's district, in there to make the play in the backfield, maybe fell forward for a yard, and it will be second and
I'm confused there, Mike. Was that a post-possession foul? Because that was 4th down. Was that? No, it was 1st down. I'm sorry.
They had converted on 1st down, yeah. 2nd down and 19 here. And nowhere to go again. Pottsboro's defense flexing a little bit here as Jalen Williams had no running room. Cole Bynum in the backfield to make the play, and now it's 3rd and a mile, and a timeout will be called by the Melissa coaching staff, their second timeout of the half. Beg your pardon, they're first. Pottsboro has taken one here in the first half. Now Melissa has taken one as well. So 2 apiece remain with 6:23 to play in the second quarter. Melissa with a 22-3 lead. They have jumped all over Pottsboro, who's playing without their starting quarterback, Braden Plyler, here in the first half. Melissa has looked very, very sharp offensively and defensively. A 17-yard touchdown run from Ashton Mitchell-Johnson to cap a 1:31 touchdown drive to answer Pottsboro's field goal that started the football game. Then a 55-yard pick six from Carlos Branch to make it 14-3 just 2 minutes later. And then early on in quarter number 2, Sam Fennigan hit Jack Richardson for the touchdown pass to make it 22-3, and that's where things stand right now. But a very important 3rd down and 21 for this Pottsboro defense stretch to try and get off the football field and create, or at the very least, create a 4th and long situation and force Melissa to go for it. Melissa's field goal kicker, Luke Hansen, not a ton of range for him, similar to Jacob McDonald. So if they can keep him out of range, it would be helpful.
Yeah, Mike, you got to keep everything in front of you right here. You know, they're going to line up in the trip set. You can't let them throw it up to the big guy. Got to keep everything in front of you.
Taylor off play action. Near side, tipped in the air and incomplete. Really nice hands from Cole Bynum.
Right there. Was that Bynum again that tipped that ball? That young man just made a heck of a tackle, and then he just made a heck of a play on that slant. Be 4th and, is it 22?
Officially on the in-house scoreboard,
kind of
they say 4th and 21.
I'm sorry, Mike. They're kind of in a it's just kind of in no man's land right here. You really can't punt it, and you really can't try a field goal. So they're just going to try to go for it and see if they can hit something.
Just throw it up in the end zone, and that's what Parker Taylor will do. Back corner of the end zone, nearly intercepted. Frankly, a smart play by Titus Lyons to let it go. Incomplete, and a very important defensive stop for the Pottsboro defense to at least keep themselves somewhat in touch, frankly, in this football game.
Great job to stem the tide right there. They got you know what? That was a holding call, and they backed them up, and then they held them on 4 straight downs. Really good job by that defense to stand up and make those plays. Bynum was my boy in that right there. A little undersized linebacker. He'll get after you, Mikey.
He is a special football player. Only 5'9", 155 pounds, and according to head coach Matt Poe, soaking wet. But despite his lack of size, he said he just figures out how to make plays. He said he may be the bell cow on their defensive side of the football. He's a real stud.
He'll put his nose in there, I can tell you that. You can see that in those plays he just made.
So back comes Jet Carroll and company, 5 wides, and that ball too tall, intended for Grayson Watson.
They try to get the ball outside on the perimeter, but boy, you know, their snaps are not good. He's trying to get the ball. He's not comfortable with his feet. Pottsboro needs a 1st down here. They got to keep this clock running, Mike.
6:09 on the clock here in the second quarter. If Pottsboro could put together a scoring drive here, it would change the tenor of the football game entirely. But they've struggled to move the football much at all here in this first half, independent of their opening drive. Carroll's going to keep it himself out of this empty set.
Slung forward. Quarterback draw out of empty, and guess what? Melissa is dialed into the quarterback right now. They are not going to let what is their starting running back be the quarterback and beat him with his feet. He's going to have to throw the ball.
Dylan Smith makes the tackle. Third down and 5 now, and this feels like a really important play. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Carroll by himself in the backfield. Looking left, firing that way. That'll be enough for a 1st down, and a nice move as he gets to the outside. A lot of running room for Jake Kubik. Down close to the midfield stripe, and a big 1st down for the Pottsboro Cardinals.
Good catch and throw right there. He threw that hitch to the slot guy who was able to then get up the field. Nice block by the Z outside.
They'll mark the football right at midfield.
That's a big pickup, Mike. If they could some way get a score right here and go in at the half, it would put a whole new, different energy into their locker room.
Melissa does have the football to start the second half, so that doesn't necessarily help Pottsboro. But any sort of points here has swallowed up in the backfield is Carroll once again. Parker Jack leading the charge.
Again, they try to run that quarterback draw out of an empty set.
Kale
You look at
Brakebill
how
there as well.
Melissa's lined up defensively, Mike. They're playing a half guy in the box. And what I mean by that is, to your third receiver, watch your safety play inside the box down here at the bottom to keep them outnumbered and being able to run that quarterback draw.
Dylan Nally, number 16. You can see
Look
him
at
on the near
16 down
side,
here.
right
You
on the
see,
hash.
That's correct. He's halfway in the box. He's going to play the run, then the pass.
Nally said he's the most physical safety I might have ever been around in my life. High praise from Matt Nally, and he's been a key piece of the defense.
Expire again. They can't do that. I know they're trying to milk that clock to get out of this half, but you can't play behind the chains like that. It's going to make it 2nd and 15, Mike.
Yeah.
Got to get up there and snap the ball. And right there is where your normal quarterback, that clock doesn't expire. When you got your 2 in there, it's just you can tell just the center exchange is just a half second off.
Yeah. 2nd down and 15 now as the ball's walked back to the 45 in Pottsboro territory. Carroll's going to take it himself. Got a lead blocker. He's got the edge. Cross midfield, inside the 45, and very close to first down yardage.
Now, Mike, where they've been running that quarterback draw in an empty set, now they bring the back in there.
Yeah.
He's able to block for him, and they were able to pick up 14 yards right there.
So third down.
Really good adjustment by the Pottsboro coaching staff.
And that sets up a much more manageable 3rd and 1 as we tick down to 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Pottsboro would desperately love to have points here before halftime and inch a little bit closer before Braden Plyler comes back on the football field. Carroll, again, going to follow the lead block of Branch. Cuts upfield, and he's got enough for the first down.
Good adjustment right there. They go right back to it, allowing him to follow his running back so you got numbers and you're able to run that quarterback. Here's the key, Mike, keeping that clock running. Are you going to get a timeout down here?
Timeout called by Melissa. That is their 2nd of the half, so they've got 1 remaining. We talked about the absence of Braden Plyler and how much that makes an impact on this Pottsboro offense. They're also missing Cooper Townsley, who should be their starting running back alongside Jet Carroll. They should be kind of a 2-headed monster out of the backfield, but Townsley is hurt this week. So not only in the first half are you without your starting quarterback, but you're without either your best or your second best running back. He and Carroll basically have split time through these first 2 weeks. Didn't play last week because of the injury. Did Townsley not playing this week because of the injury. So Pottsboro's offense is frankly decimated in this first half. We'll see how much of a difference it will make in the second half, having Plyler back and moving Carroll back to the running back position, and how much that opens things up.
Boy, and we talked about this, Mike. If they can figure out a way to get this ball in the end zone, going at the half, only down 12, and their starting quarterback out, and they've thrown a pick 6. I like how this team hadn't quit.
Yeah. Out of the timeout, 3 wides to the bottom of the formation. Titus Lyons right in the middle of your screen. Carroll with the freshman McBride in the backfield. And he'll roll this way. Beg your pardon, it's Branch with him. Trying to throw, trying to get away, and just kind of throws it at the feet.
Get that ball out there to the flat. Boy, the Melissa D was bearing down on him right there.
This Melissa defense is fast. I mean, that's a running back playing quarterback, and even he can't get away from the pressure that they're putting in his face. Parker Jack, part of that pressure.
Luke Fowler.
He has been important in this first half for sure for Melissa. And yes, Fowler there as well. 2nd down and 10. 3:32 to play first half. Carroll running left. Again, he's got Branch lead blocking. Gets to the edge. Tiptoes his way out of bounds. Got down to the 31. That'll make 3rd down a bit more manageable. Call it 3rd and 4.
You said the key word, very manageable.
As a matter of fact, they inch it forward a little further, call it 3rd and 3. Looking at the sideline for offensive coordinator Mark Towery in his 2nd full year as OC. Matt Poe says everything goes through him for their offense. Trying to dial up something here on 3rd and short. Carroll going to keep it himself again, and this time he's going to be taken down short. Good penetration in the backfield. Isaiah
He didn't go
Cherry.
outside that time, Mike. He didn't follow his back. He tried to hit it up inside. Now you got a 4th and long 2 situation coming up.
Outside of field goal range for sure. From here it would be a 47-yarder. McDonald told me pregame that he feels like he's got range out to about 40. So this is outside of what he can accomplish. And they'll have to go for it here on 4th and 2. Have to get just inside the 28-yard line to pick up a first down. Nose of the football right on the 30-yard stripe.
They're going to take a timeout here and talk about it, Mike.
Their second timeout of the half as the play clock was about to expire, and they want to give this a little extra consideration because this is a big play for them. Again, points for them would just be massive. As frustrating as this first half has been for Matt Poe and the Pottsboro Cardinals, they are very close to getting themselves back reasonably into this football game. Points here before halftime would be huge, and then you get your starting quarterback, Braden Plyler, back for second half action, and it could just make a massive difference in this game.
I think here's what I'm going to say, though, Mike, and this is what I'm sure Coach is going to be telling his team. Even if they don't pick this up, they took the ball and they drove the football and they ran some time off the clock.
Yeah.
That's what they had to do in order not to give the football back to an offense and Melissa, who has just gone up and down the field.
Yeah. And frankly, prior to that, a very important defensive stand. And they, the help of some penalties for sure that, Melissa had some self-inflicted wounds on that possession. But to get off the football field, not giving up points, to have that 4th down stop and get their offensive football back was huge for Pottsboro, but now an even bigger moment here as they face 4th down and 2, and the 50% capacity crowd here at Cardinal Stadium, and Melissa getting loud. Carroll in shotgun as he's been all night, 3 wides to the bottom of the formation. Handoff, it's Branch, cut up field, he's short. A 4th down stand for the Melissa defense as Major McBride is cut down a yard short, and Melissa stands tall again.
Great job right there playing gap control defense. They try to run that little inside zone. Really good job to get up the field, Mike, and play your gaps.
2:35 to play here in the first half. Certainly enough time for this Melissa offense to score again. And if you're Matt Nally and the Melissa Cardinals offense, you're thinking absolutely guns blazing, go try and build this lead before halftime and make the task as difficult as possible for Braden Plyler. Again, it's Parker Taylor out on the football field to start the series. This time a handoff to Ashton Mitchell-Johnson, and he fights his way forward for a few.
Ashton Mitchell-Johnson picks up 4.
2nd and 6, and very quickly back to the line of scrimmage comes this Melissa offense. Taylor, straight drop, looking deep up the seam into single coverage, and he hauls it in. Antonio Robinson with the catch, closely covered by Titus Lyons, but Robinson just able to squeeze it.
Good job, good throw and catch right there. He, like you said, he saw him up the seam and he threw it away from the safety. He was able to make the play.
Titus Lyons was right there, but just not able to rip the hands and force the incompletion. Now Mitchell Johnson stumbling his way through the hole, but now he's running again. First down and then some inside the 25 to the 21. This Melissa offense is dangerous.
They are, and they are quick. Look at them get to the ball. They are ready to snap the ball. As soon as the official says run the clock, they're snapping the ball.
Matt Nally said every 6 to 8 seconds they want to be snapping the football and just run the defense ragged. Mitchell Johnson again with the carry, and right back to the line of scrimmage they come for 2nd and 5. And now a timeout called by Pottsboro. Smart timeout here for Matt Poe.
A little bit.
$1:35 on the clock here in the first half, and just to give them a half a beat to catch themselves because Melissa has just gashed them on this drive.
This offense is a well-oiled machine at Melissa. They can flat and get to the ball and run a play. Their big offensive lineman, as soon as it's down the field, they're tea kettle to you know what, just get it to the line of scrimmage.
450 of you watching with us right now on YouTube Live. We do appreciate you guys joining us here on the WFA Digital Network. Friday Night Football. We are here with you every Friday night. Next week, a fantastic football game. The top 2 teams in the state of Texas that will be playing football next week. 5A and 6A not playing yet. The number 1 and number 2 teams in 4A Division I, Argyle and La Vega, right here on Friday Night Football 1 week from today. Back to the action. Ashton Mitchell-Johnson up the middle to the end zone. Ashton Mitchell-Johnson with his second of the day, and Melissa is pouring it on in the first half.
Yeah, nice job right there. They see what they like inside. Run that little draw inside, and they were able to hit it.
28-3 with 1:30 to play. And Ashton Mitchell-Johnson.
And looks like they're going to go for 2, Mike.
Taylor out there with Jalen Williams now. Knopfziger comes in motion across the formation. Up the middle, 2 more. 30-3, Melissa.
That's tough right there, Mike. When you got the ball on, really they had the ball almost inside the red zone, trying to get a score. They couldn't convert on the 4th and short. Turn it over on downs. Melissa takes it right down the field in about 40 seconds and scores on you.
We've talked about it quite a bit in the first half, but it is worth reiterating. This is not Pottsboro at full strength. It's just not. That is the reality of the situation. This is the number 3 team in 3A Division I, a team that beat the number 1 team in 3A Division II just a week ago, the Gunner Tigers, in rather convincing fashion. They controlled that football game, but tonight playing without their starting quarterback, Braden Plyler, here in the first half, also playing without one of their top running backs in Cooper Townsley. He's out due to injury. Plyler will come back for the start of the second half, but this is going to be an awfully difficult hole to climb out of for Pottsboro tonight.
That coach is going to have to go in and talk to his team. He's going to have to say, you know what, it's a 0-0 game. Let's go out and play 1 half of football here.
Lyons on the return and taken down, nicely defended by this Melissa coverage team. Jack Richardson, who's got a touchdown reception on the day, making a play on special teams. $1.25 to work with here for Pottsboro, and you almost wonder if with Melissa seeing a goose egg up there on the timeout, I beg your pardon, Pottsboro's without timeouts. Melissa has 1 remaining, but you wonder if Pottsboro just says, let's just go to the locker room.
Need to pick up a first down here and, yes, be able to run this clock out. That's what they need to do. Maybe see if you can hit something with your, with that zone read outside. I doubt that they're going to throw the football here, Mike. I think they're going to try to run it and run this clock out.
Handoff up the middle. It's Branch.
Nice gains, 5 yards. That's what you want to do. Keep that clock running.
Branch up the middle.
Tell you what, if I'm Matt Nally, I'm Hawkeye in this situation and trying to figure out when is the right time to use a timeout, and he will call it right now. 1:09 to play in the first half. But we're talking about a Pottsboro team that last year, you want to talk about, not giving up, like we were talking about just a few minutes ago as they were driving down the football field trying to get points here before halftime. This is a team that had a just magical run through the postseason last year. They won 38-31 over Malakoff in a close game in the regional semis, won 35-34 in double OT over Gladewater in the regional final, and then won the game I was talking about earlier in the state semis, 36-35 over Brock. So just a heart-stopping run to the championship game. Almost came back and beat Grandview in the title game, lost that game 42-35. So this is a team that knows how to play in difficult situations, but this is a tough spot on the road down 30-3. We'll see what they can do in the second half once Plyler comes back, but they've definitely dug themselves quite a hole.
No question.
1:09 left. It's Branch. Branch with some running room, good blocking out in front of him as he gets out across the 35.
Good inside zone look and a good run right there.
Clock will stop momentarily at 1:01 as they set the sticks. Ball out to the 36-yard line. But Pottsboro is certainly going to have to regroup here at halftime and come up with something, because they're going to need some quick strikes here in the second half to get back in this football game. The biggest thing they're going to need is a stop on Melissa's first possession right out of halftime.
Correct.
Carroll, handoff up the middle. Branch with nowhere to go. Just bottled up.
That's probably the last play of the half, Mike.
No reason to snap it.
No. Go in at the half, regroup, tell his football team we're in a 0-0 game. We got our quarterback back. Let's go out and play a half of football and see if we can play different than we did the first half.
A stop to start the half and a touchdown on their first possession for Pottsboro might give them a little bit of momentum and change this football game a little bit, but they're going to need a lot to go their way. Final play of the half, and they did snap it, the handoff to Branch, and a nice run to get out across midfield. But that will be the final play of half number one. A dominant performance from the Melissa Cardinals through 24 minutes of football. 30-3 the lead. 2 touchdown runs from Ashton Mitchell-Johnson, a pick 6 from Carlos Branch. Sam Finnegan hit Jack Richardson for a touchdown pass as well, and stretched just a very, very impressive half of football from Melissa.
Really good half of football, and on both sides of the ball. You can tell this team came out ready, focused, and ready to play. You know what? They have nothing to do with the Pottsboro quarterback not playing tonight. They came out, played their game in the first half, and it's been impressive to watch.
20 minutes on the clock for halftime. Time for the bands to take over. The Pottsboro Cardinals marching band under the direction of Jason Matherly and the Melissa Mighty Cardinal band under the direction of Jerry Wharton will take over the show here for the next 20 minutes, and we'll be back to break down the first half and tee up half number 2 in just a few minutes here on Friday Night Football. But for now, enjoy the show from the Pottsboro and Melissa marching bands.
Just ask her if she wants these cough drops. See her right there? She's right there. My wife right there. Say Debbie. Do you want these? I just got the 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pottsboro ISD is proud to present the Cardinal Pride Band. Tonight the band will be performing the opener from their 2020 UIL show, Through Fire and Flame. Directors for the band are Jackie Dean and Bill Blankenship. Color guard director is Lauren Griffin. Section of the week is the trombone. Band member of the week is clarinet section leader Sydney Amos.
8:30 tomorrow.
Sponsors, 2020 sponsors for the Cardinal Pride Band are Georgetown Baptist Church, Highport Marina, A&O Automotive, Simmons Bank, and the Pottsboro Area Chamber of Commerce. Thanks to these amazing local businesses for providing support and service to our community and students. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Tanner Dudley and Isabella Cooper. Now please welcome the Cardinal Pride Band.
They're panned to the center, so it should be going out to both channels. Even if it's a shorty and I can just run a long one.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and we welcome you to tonight's halftime entertainment. We are proud to present from Melissa, Texas, the Melissa High School award-winning Mighty Cardinal Marching Band. Landry, Eric Boyette, and Taylor Tucker. Additional staff include Shannon Matthews and Winnie Shee. The band is under the field command this evening of drum majors Brianne Fennell, Davina Vella, and Autumn Bell. The section of the week is the Low Reeds section. Mighty Cardinal Band will be performing a standstill portion of their 2020 UIL competition show entitled Retrovision, and includes Pure Imagination by Gene Wilder and Run Boy Run by Woodkid. Brianne Fennell, is your band ready? pop song Mic Drop from the K-pop band BTS. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the home side track as the Melissa High School varsity cheer squad performs a routine to Shout It Out. Another round of applause. The Melissa Booster Club and our awesome band for their support. All right, Cardinal fans, get on your feet and put your hands together for the Melissa High School
Trying to get that sound, boss. Stop it.
Tyson. Tyson. How you doing? He's a big boy. Yeah. 2 weeks ago. I'm glad this kid's playing both ways this little time. 54 is playing offensive tackle and tackle.
30-3, the halftime score here at Cardinal Stadium in Melissa. The number 3 Pottsboro Cardinals trailing the Melissa Cardinals by 27 at halftime. Mike Leslie and Glenn Stretch Smith back here with you on the WFAA YouTube channel. The WFAA Digital Network and YouTube Live is our home this year on Friday Night Football. And Braden Plyler getting warmed up on the far sideline. You may see him on the left side of your frame. Maybe if we can get a shot of number 4, the quarterback for Melissa, down on the far side 30-yard line, getting warmed up. Stretch, he will be on the field here in the second half after he missed the first half of play. Braden Plyler getting back on the football field. We'll get a chance to see what he can do. Far side 30-yard, he just ran back into the, never mind, Raul. Our photographer, Raul Garcia, is trying to find a shot of him, but he just ran back into the pile of Cardinals as they're getting ready to come out of their blow-up Cardinal. But it'll be good to see him back on the football. We'll see if Pottsboro can make a comeback.
And you know, Mike, he's got to feel bad. I mean, obviously he's got to feel bad. He's put his team, feel responsible for putting his team in this position. But let me tell you something. They weren't able to stop Melissa, and that's the key. I mean, I don't know that if they could have, even if he had played the first half, they'd have been able to score with him. And to me, that's the difference in the football game. Has been Melissa's offense has just gone and flat attacked this Pottsboro defense.
So here comes the Pottsboro High School Cardinals out of their blow-up, trailing by 27. Melissa just outstanding in the first half, offensively and defensively. We talked about off the top of the broadcast stretch just how deep this football team is, how talented they are top to bottom, how many players they have that they can just keep throwing at you, whether it's whether it's Jalen Williams, whether it's Braden Smith, Ashton Mitchell-Johnson. You can just keep throwing guys at people. Damon Youngblood, Antonio Robinson. They've got so many skilled players that can hurt you in so many different ways.
Well, you make the key. I mean, they kept rolling those running backs in there, and anytime you can run with those fresh legs, you can be able to do what they're wanting to do offensively, which is almost kill your will. That's what they do, and then they do it with the speed, Mike. I mean, This team, when I say speed, I'm talking about they're running play after play after play. You don't have time to regroup.
Pottsboro will kick it away to start half number 2. They took their opening drive down the football field, bled 5 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock, and started the game with a 25-yard Jacob McDonald field goal. And then from that point forward, it was all Melissa. And they may start with an onside kick here. Look at this from the Pottsboro Cardinals, down 27. A little pop kick. It won't be an onside kick. Fair catch signaled for and made on the far sideline. And it will be Melissa football to start this football game, or this second half, I should say. But interesting strategy, a little bit of gamesmanship perhaps from Pottsboro right out of halftime.
Yeah, again, I will guarantee you, Coach went in and told his team, never mind that first half. Let's go out here and play a half of football. And guess what? Tomorrow when they meet, if they can keep this game close, they won't even watch that first half. They're going to go and say, you know what, this wasn't us. We're ready now to go and play a game, see if they can have any success here in the second half.
But it will be Melissa ball to start the half, so the Pottsboro defense, if they're going to get back in this football game, absolutely has to have a stop here on the opening possession of quarter number 3. It's Sam Fennigan, the starting quarterback, in there to start the second half for Melissa. We've seen him as well as Parker Taylor, who was their preseason starter but was hurt and missed the first 2 weeks of the year. Nowhere to go on 1st and 10 for the Melissa offense. Maybe a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
How to run that inside read. Pottsboro was in their gaps.
This time they go to the air. The ball's tipped and caught on the far side. That's Colton Whitwer able to get his hands underneath it, and a pickup of a few. It'll make 3rd down a bit more palatable.
Good adjustment by Whitmer on that ball. He'd run a hitch route, and the ball was tipped. He came and attacked the ball, keeps him in a 3rd manageable situation at 5.
Fennigan, near side, knocked away, and a flag at the end of the play.
I tell you what, Mike, I don't like that call at all. That young man broke on that dig route. I do not like that call at all.
And now an injured player down on the field. as the Pottsboro Cardinal, who made the play on the football.
He's the one down. That's a heck of a play. Who is that young man?
It appears that it may be Dionis Marina.
Is that Kubik?
I think it's Marina, number 9. I'll see if we can get about. He's a little bit blocked by.
Nine standing up.
Okay. It may be Kubik then. As he gets to his feet, we'll get a chance to see his number. It is number 5, and that is Jake Kubik, the junior.
Yeah, that was a heck of a break on that football right there. That's an unfortunate call. He broke on that dig. He read that dig and stuck his foot in the ground and went and broke on the football. I don't like that call at all.
Well, it is indeed pass interference against Jake Kubik and the Pottsboro defense. Jack Scott, our referee tonight. Dontrell Pennington, the umpire. Harold Lathan, the head linesman. Scotty Mills, the line judge, the gentleman who just threw that flag. And Walter Butler, the back judge. And that gives Melissa a free first down. This is the first time all night, by the way, that Melissa has started on their own side of the football field.
And the problem I got is it's a back judge that threw it. Let's get on to something going a direction.
They're going to go to the air again, near side, complete to Robinson. Trying to dance his way closer to the first down marker.
They go right at the corner. They go right at where Kubik went out. They go right at him. This team, Melissa team, is coached so well. They go right at, throw the hitch out there.
Line judge trying to blow the play dead here and trying to signal that it should have been a first down as they struggled to move the sticks on the far sideline. It is 1st and 10, they say, at the 42. That penalty's huge because that was 3rd and 5. It was a 3rd down stop. Perhaps Melissa may have punted the ball for the first time today. Instead, they keep the sticks moving, and the handoff goes up the middle to Jalen Williams. Again, nowhere for him to go and slung backward. Give him a yard with forward progress, but a nice job at the defensive front from Pottsboro.
Yeah, they've made an adjustment on that little inside zone that they're trying to run. Good job of the Pottsboro front.
2nd and 9. Fennigan looking left side, has a man complete. It's Whitwer, makes a man miss as he picks up the first down and gets down to the 30. Colton Whitwer's been a key piece of this offense in the first half.
Yeah, run a little play action, then he reaches up and hits the hitch outside for the first down.
He was very important for them in the first half and makes a nice play here early on in half number 2. And Melissa with another first down. It's right to the 30-yard stripe. Fennigan hands off Williams up the middle again. And again, stood up. Again, it's Silas Barr, the D lineman of the year last year in the district, the UNT commit. This kid is a monster. 6'5", 265. And he's difficult to block in the front here for the offensive line from Melissa. Again, it's Williams. This time a little bit more running room and a head of steam across the 25. We'll set up 3rd down and 4. 30-3 our score early on here, 3rd quarter. If you're just joining us, Pottsboro playing without their starting quarterback, Braden Plyler, through the first half, just could not get anything going offensively. Plyler had 2 as the handoff up the middle. Again, it's Williams. Williams still on his feet inside the 5, stumbles down to the 3. Jalen Williams with a nice carry right up the gut.
Good job of finishing that run. Pottsboro tried to come in there with a double eagle look, cover up everybody inside. Great job by the Melissa line to get that picked up.
So 1st and goal, Fennigan, Williams up the middle, spun down. Daniel Graham with the tackle. A goal-to-go situation here. It'll be 2nd down and 4. 2nd and goal from the 4, and just an absolute must-stop for the Pottsboro defense. Fennigan rolling near side. Looking, open, end zone. Did he get his hands underneath it? Yes, he did. That's a touchdown. Chance Holiday on the receiving end, and Melissa's added another 6 on the board.
Yeah, they run a little trips look out here, run the inside guy to the flat. He boots it out and sticks it on him for the touchdown.
Fennigan with his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. Holiday had a touchdown reception last week. He's got another one here tonight, and Melissa is just pouring it on.
Did they throw a flag? I'm trying to figure out, was there a flag on the play? Must have been a flag on that play because they're bringing it back.
There was indeed. It comes all the way back outside the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 14 as they take the points off the board. That's the problem without having our official mic'd up tonight, as they're going to go end zone again and wide open. That didn't take long to put the points right back on the board. Finnegan up top, Carlos Branch on the receiving end, and now it is indeed 36-3, Melissa.
Run the wheel route, and they weren't able to pass it off. The Pottsboro secondary wasn't able to pass it off, left him wide open for a touchdown.
Carlos Branch, one of the few players last week for Melissa who didn't have a touchdown reception, gets one tonight. They had 5 different players catch a touchdown pass last week. Antonio Robinson, Damian Youngblood, Chance Holiday, Bryson Neely, and Jacob Cusano all caught touchdown passes last week from Sam Finnegan. Tonight, Finnegan's got 2 touchdown passes, one to Jack Richardson, I should say, and one just now up top for Carlos Branch.
Wow. Take the opening kickoff and just take it right down the field and score right now. This bunch from Melissa's doing what they want to do offensively, Mike.
3 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, and it is 37-3 before Braden Plyler can even take a step on the football field.
Take it right down the field and score. They're in. This team is imposing their will right now. They're making a statement saying, you know what, we may be at the top of this division.
Melissa has started off this year just exceptionally well against 3 really good football teams. State-ranked Salina, at least state-ranked at the time. Salina's lost each of their first 2 games. Last week right here on Friday Night Football in overtime against Paris 10-7 and against Melissa to start the year 32-20. They have fallen out of the rankings as a result, but preseason, the number 6 team in 4A Division I, and Melissa with a 32-20 win at Salina. Then last week, against a very talented Sunnyvale team right here on this football field, Melissa hung 58 on them, despite turning the football over 5 times. They put 58 points on the board, and they look well on their way to 58 more right now, up 37-3 on the number 3 team in the state in 3A Division I, the Pottsboro Cardinals, that played for a state championship a year ago. Kickoff from Melissa up the far side. And it'll be Jude Bentley on the return, and Bentley's got a little bit of running room, had some blockers out in front, and is able to get out to the 28-yard line. And for the first time today, here comes Braden Plyler and the Pottsboro offense. We'll see if they can do anything about this 34-point deficit.
First down for Pottsboro from their own 28-yard line.
But you just can't say enough good things about what Melissa has done tonight, offensively and defensively. Carlos Branch with the interception return for a touchdown. They just haven't allowed Pottsboro to get anything going. We'll see if that changes now that Plyler's out there. He's got 5 wide receivers. Looking up the far right sideline, and that is an absolute dime. Hello and welcome to the football game, Braden Plyler. That was exceptional to Titus Lyons, and they're into Melissa territory.
They go empty, and he sees exactly what he wants. Good coverage, but he was able to stick that ball right on his receiver.
I mean, that was
That's a shame.
perfect.
That's a shame that young. Hey, I've seen one offensive snap. I know it's a shame that young man had to sit out the first half.
We mentioned it off the top, but 2 unsportsmanlike penalties against Plyler last week against Gunner, leading to his absence in the first half of this football game. And we talked with Matt Poe earlier this week about that. He said especially the first one was kind of ticky-tack. It was just a technicality. Technically, he did pull a player off the pile. He said it wasn't malicious, it wasn't nasty, but technically it was an unsportsmanlike penalty. And then he got another one in the second half. Because of that, had to miss the first half. He said, if we thought that Braden Plyler had done something malicious and was really a jerk, we wouldn't have let him play today. We would have sat him out the entire game as he has it knocked out of his hands on the far side. He did throw the football. They're going to call that a pass as he was outside the tackle box. No penalty flag on the ground, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. But again, Poe said if we thought that he had done something really wrong and deserved this kind of punishment, we wouldn't play him at all tonight. He said it's just not that kind of situation. We'll allow him to come back out here in the second half, and you see him on the field. 2 completions on his first 2 plays. Now an incompletion there on 1st down and 10 from the 33-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Oh, beg your pardon. They're going to say in the grass. It looks like they are going to run this back. They're moving this. They don't know what they're doing. The chain gang's not sure what the officials are doing. Now they bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. He absolutely did.
Right. Go right back to an empty set. You can tell this offense has got a different swagger with this young man at quarterback, Mike.
Yeah, there's no question. 2nd down and 10. Plyler. And a miscommunication there between he and Titus Lyons. And it falls harmlessly incomplete out by the pylon.
Yeah, looked like they were running a little read route out there. If you get even, you need to be leaving, and he needs to be heaving. That's exactly what he did. If the corner's soft and you want to run that comeback right there, a little read route, they weren't on the same page. But they call PI against Melissa. That's going to give them a 1st down inside the red zone, Mike.
We need to get Jack Scott, our referee, a microphone. It has been tough to decipher exactly when. I mean, didn't even see a penalty flag on the field. I don't know if you did, but anyway, it is a pass interference.
I certainly would have said something to you.
Yeah. 1st and 10 at the 19. Motion man across the formation. And Plyler's going to roll this way. Now he's going to tuck it and perhaps run for it, trying to get away. Still on his feet. Look at Braden Plyler making plays once he's finally on the football field. Finds a man open, complete inside the 15 to Jude Bentley. What a play from Braden Plyler. Where you been all the first half? Yeah. Welcome to the football game, young man.
A heck of a play right there. Keep it alive with your feet. You know what? It was pretty well defended by the Melissa D. And then when you can keep plays alive like that with your feet, 4 yard. That might be the best 4-yard gain I've seen in a long time.
2nd and 6 after all of that. Back in the backfield alongside Plyler. Looking inside toward the middle touch. Titus Lyons caught. Touchdown.
Hey, that young man came in the football game and took his team right down the field and scored. Hey, that's a shame they had to sit him out the first half, because I tell you what, we'd be seeing us I can tell you right now, we'd be seeing us a gun battle.
No doubt. No doubt. 37-9. You have to wonder if they'll go for 2 here. Looks like they will kick the extra point with Jacob McDonald. Make it a 27-point game. 6:38 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. And finally, the Pottsboro Cardinals have found pay dirt. Braden Plyler leading his football team straight down the field. An electric play to pick up 4 yards and set up 2nd and 6. And then on the post, he hits Titus Lyons for the touchdown. And finally, Pottsboro's got at least a modicum of life. They score not even 2 minutes after Melissa made it 37-3.
You know, I'm sitting here reading. I'm looking over your notes, Mike, that you made. Coach Matt Poe says Braden Plyler makes us hard to defend. After one drive, you think that's fitting right there, right? Very fitting.
It's accurate. They're much harder to defend right now than they were in the first half. There is no question about that. We'll see if that's enough, though. I mean, they've still got an Everest to climb, down 27 with a little over a quarter and a half to play.
I'm telling you right now, that was a heck of a skinny post he just threw for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was a heck of a throw.
Step up in the pocket, drive, and just put it right on Titus Lyons between the 3 and the 2. And now perhaps again are they considering an onside kick here from Jacob McDonald.
They can get 11 on the field, and they do.
Given the way that Pottsboro has struggled defensively, but if he's just going to kick it straight up in the air and give him a chance to call for a fair catch, it's not going to lead to very much for Pottsboro. If he could drive it into the ground, perhaps a different scenario. Take the fair catch off the table. But instead, it's 1st and 10 for the Melissa Cardinals as they take over at their own 34-yard line. And again, the onus is on this Pottsboro defense to finally make a stop.
I can't quit thinking about the quarterback. I'm trying to shift gears, turn my flip card over, and let's get going.
I'm telling you, he's an impressive kid, and to your point, if he were on the field all 4 quarters tonight, we'd be looking at a different game. It might be 37-34 instead of 37-10, which would be an awful lot more fun for us.
I'm telling you, I'm going to talk about a tale of 2 different halves right now, Mike. I'm thinking about Melissa had the ball, went down and scored. Pottsboro took it back, and they went down and answered.
Fumble, ball on the deck. That's Pottsboro football.
Has this young man energized this football team or what? Now they go down and score right here. We got us a football game.
Jackson Lipscomb on the fumble recovery as Finnegan couldn't keep his hands on the football. And with 6:08 on the clock, just 30 seconds after the touchdown from Plyler to Titus Lyons, it is Pottsboro ball, 1st and 10 at the Melissa 26.
You can just watch him come off the sideline. Look at those red shoes he's got on. He's the only guy, red high tops.
I think that might even be red spat on his ankles. I think that's what that is. And he's got 3 wides to the near side of the formation. Rolls right with Branch out in front of him. Looking end zone. And that's going to draw a whole bunch of flags.
Oh, that would have been a touchdown.
It absolutely would have been. Titus Lyons was behind the defense and was held quite demonstratively by Chance Holiday. Frankly, maybe a smart penalty, because to your point, otherwise it would have been a touchdown. Step that one off, and just like that, Pottsboro's in the red zone. They're going to mark it, looks like at the 11-yard line, so they can get a first down without scoring if they can get inside the 1.
Can't get the ball set. The ball guy just threw it about 44 yards across the field.
We've played half of the 3rd quarter, and already it feels like an entirely different football game than what we saw through the first 2 quarters. Plyler, end zone.
Oh. Not only does it feel like a different game, it is a different game.
Yeah.
Because of one player. The whole look at their sideline. They're standing up. You can tell this whole game has changed its feel. And I get it. They're still down 4 touchdowns, but they don't think they're out of this football game, and neither does that quarterback.
2nd down and 10 as Watson just couldn't make the adjustment in the end zone. Plyler. Flushed. Going to try and run for it. Plyler to the corner. He'll be close to first down yardage. Couldn't quite get to the pylon. We'll see where they mark him as he stepped out of bounds inside the 5.
Well, he can keep plays alive with his feet. Can do so many things. Lee. I'm almost mad right now, Mike Leslie. I'm mad that they set that kid out of half of football. That's ridiculous.
It would be a much different football game, there's no question. He ends up just a couple of yards shy of first down yardage. 3rd down and 2 from the 3. Plyler with Branch with him. Hands to Branch, running right. Push back. It's going to depend on the spot, and it looks like he's going to be just short of first down yardage. It's going to be 4th and less than a yard.
Yeah, it'll be short of the first down. I tell you what, I'm almost to the point now where anytime you take the ball out of that young man's hands, you're wrong. 4th and 1, they're immediately to the line. You think he thinks they're going to stick this thing in the end zone?
I don't think it's going to come out of his hands unless he throws it to somebody in the end zone. 4th down and a yard. Plyler running right. Branch's lead blocker. Touchdown, Braden Plyler. Pottsboro with 2 scores in 90 seconds.
Wow. Mike Leslie, have I said I'm mad that they set that kid out the first half of this football game? Have I told you I'm mad that they set that kid out the first half of this football game? And I send the UIL a daggone letter. That's a bunch of bullcorn. They made that kid set out a half.
Glenn Stretch Smith, the self-appointed president of the Braden Plyler fan club.
Oh, I promise you.
Extra point is up and through and it is a different football game. 6 minutes and
field.
52.
Look at this stadium right now. Look at that side. Look at that sideline over there as they hit the horn for the Pottsboro Cardinals. Look at this sideline over here. Hey, look here, Mike. Don't think that may not get that onside kick right here. We got a 20-point football game.
It is a different game in a blink. Braden Plyler, who last year combined for 50 touchdowns, 2,700 yards and 30 touchdowns through the air, another 1,000 yards on the ground and 20 touchdowns rushing. One of the best quarterbacks in the state of Texas, a Mr. Texas Football Watch List honoree preseason, and a kid who is in the running to win the whole gosh darn award this year. That talented a football player missed the first half of this game and has made a massive difference in his first 6 minutes and 52 seconds worth of play tonight. It's a 20-point game, and it feels a whole lot different here at Cardinal Stadium in Melissa after he's entered the game. We'll see if
Mike,
they consider.
look at what we got here. We've only got 2 down here to this short side versus 4. He goes ahead and hammers that one.
And that one will
go try to go get on that ball and into the end zone.
Touchback will bring it out for Melissa to the 25-yard line.
We get a 3 and out right here. Mike Leslie, we're going to have us a football game. I'll promise you. We're going to have us a fourth quarter that is worth staying around for.
There's no doubt of that. First and 10, Melissa at the 25, and a big defensive opportunity here for Pottsboro to make a play and get off the football field and get the football back in the hands of number 4, Braden Plyler. It's Finnegan again at quarterback, and a big hole up the middle, squeezing through as it started to close is Braden Smith. A nice run on the first play of the drive for Melissa. And that is close to first down yardage. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Let me tell you, that's what they need to be doing. They need to be running that ball, and they don't need to be getting to the line to run a play. They need to run this clock out, let this clock run a little bit.
They don't take any time.
That's what they do on offense. That's just what they
do. Ball's on the deck again. This time, Melissa able to jump back on top of it, as it appears.
The line judge threw his flag instead of the beanbag on the fumble right there.
I believe you're right. I think that was an error.
That's going to set up a third and a long one, that fumble.
Yes, it will. Big spot here for the Pottsboro defense. Can they get off the football field? Penetration up the middle and knifing through to make the play in the backfield is Cole Bynum. We talked about him earlier. The pint-sized little fire plug of an outside linebacker, 5'9", 155, knifes in there and makes the play, cuts him down for a loss, and Pottsboro, for the first time today, forces a Melissa punt.
First time today. You make a great point. First time today you're going to see a punt. Now, let me tell you, I saw this young man in the pregame. He could thump it. I'm not sure. Pottsboro, they better get their returner back about 15 more yards right here.
Melissa's punter, Damon Wiedemann. Back to return for Pottsboro is Titus Lyons, who was our player to watch tonight for the Pottsboro Cardinals, already with a touchdown reception on the night to finally break the seal for Pottsboro's offense. Coming near side to field at his own 32. Makes the first man miss, but then nice job by the coverage team from Melissa.
Right there. Good punt, good coverage. Mike, we got 3:24 left in the third quarter, down 20. They are not out of this football game.
They are not, and I'll tell you what, if Pottsboro is able to go down the football field and score here, all of a sudden, if you're Melissa, you start to tighten up a little bit. Because then you start feeling the momentum swing. I mean, the momentum is already swung, but you start to feel the pressure then of going into the fourth quarter. You were up 34 only a few minutes ago. Leads down to 20. If it gets down to 13 or 12, depending on how this all transpires, could get real interesting going into the fourth quarter. Let's see what Braden Plyler and company can do on his third possession of this football game. Handoff up the middle. And it's Colin Branch carrying for 3.
At about 4, you got to slow that defensive line down for Melissa, and that's why they're still running the football. got a little sugar huddle. They're going to go right to the line here.
15 minutes to play in this football game as Pottsboro tries to come back from what was at one point a 34-point deficit down to 20 right now. And they've got the football back once again as the number 3 team in the state in 3A Division I, trying to engineer a comeback behind their all-star quarterback, Braden Plyler. Throwing right side, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver and incomplete. Drake Hunter couldn't hang on to it.
Right there. He told the slot he wanted a hitch. He got it. Everything was good, and then the ball got there.
So now 3rd and 6. And now the pressure shifts back here to Pottsboro, because Melissa's offense is electric. They only just finally punted for the first time in this football game with 3:24 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. So if you're Pottsboro, you do not want to give it back to that offense. Plyler rolling right. Flood routes that way. Trouble. Flings it. Did he catch that football?
He caught it for a first down.
Are you kidding me?
He jumped past it out there.
A jump pass and Drake Hunter falling out of bounds, toe tap, pulls it in, and a huge first down conversion in dazzling fashion.
And look at the Pottsboro offense. You think they're not ready to roll here? Trips to the bottom, right back to the football.
1st and 10 at the 45 after that play. And Branch gets the handoff up the middle again, this time nowhere to go.
This kid is fun to watch, I'm just telling you.
Cale Brakebill with the stop on 1st and 10. It'll be 2nd and 10. We have some questions on the YouTube feed about what is a sugar huddle. You called it a sugar huddle a moment ago, what Pottsboro's doing here.
They huddle real close to the ball so they can get to the ball quickly. Instead of most huddles are set at about 7 or 8, they set it at about 5 so they can get to the ball quickly.
2nd and call it 9 from the 46. Plyler looking deep up the left sideline into single coverage, in and out of the hands of Grayson Watson, and incomplete. Step for step with him was Carlos Branch.
Good coverage by Carlos Branch right there. That's a young man that had the pick and scored earlier. Good man-to-man coverage right there, and he was pressed up on him.
So now another big 3rd down here for Braden Plyler and company. It seems a little bit crazy to say this in the 3rd quarter, but with as big a hole as they dug, this feels like a must. It feels like every possession for Pottsboro is a must in order to get back into this football game. 3rd and 9 for Plyler. Wide receivers 3x2 left and right. Trouble, and just has to throw it away. Over the head and incomplete. Jay Kubik had no chance at it. That wasn't really Plyler attempting to complete a pass. He was just trying to get out of trouble.
He had to catch that ball and get rid of it. Not good protection up front. It's a good stop for the Melissa defense to stem this, what has felt like an onslaught from Plyler.
Melissa brought the house on 3rd down and 9. And with 5 wide receivers out in the formation, they did not have enough, did Pottsboro, to block it up and give Plyler enough time, and they'll have to punt it away.
Little tight punt here.
Would you consider a fake in this situation? They will not. Punt it away, does Lipscomb. Fielded at the 26-yard line, and a nice move to get by the first tackler. Flag behind the play as Whitworth took
back
it.
Deep. I'm not sure what that flag is for, Mike. We got a flag deep back here. It might have been blocking the back.
That appeared to be the preliminary signal from behind the play. And it is indeed a block in the back against Melissa, so that will knock them deeper into their own territory. Over 500 of you watching with us right now on the WFAA YouTube channel. Please share this feed around. Let your friends and family in the Pottsboro and Melissa communities know that we're doing the game and that they can tune in here for the final $1:34 of quarter number 3. And if Braden Plyler has anything to say about it, what could be an entertaining 4th quarter here at Cardinal Stadium in Melissa.
You said $1:34. That's what I thought one of those kolaches was going to go for over there at Buc-ee's.
All Stretch can think about is the Buc-ee's visit postgame. Handoff up the middle, and bouncing off of tacklers is Ashton Mitchell-Johnson for a nice carry.
Yeah, I have to admit, my girlfriend introduced me to the Buc-ee's kolache. She got me hooked.
I had the chocolate-covered beaver nuggets a couple of weeks ago that were very good, too. Up the middle, Mitchell Johnson again with a head of steam, and that'll be enough for a first down.
Melissa's going to rely on that big front. They're going to line up right now, try to knock them off the football, Mike.
I heard a fan here on the near side from Pottsboro say every 6 seconds, and that is the reality for any defense that tries to stop Melissa. They are back to the line of scrimmage and ready to snap the football immediately. And they do on the left side. That ball is caught by Finnegan. It was knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Finnegan had his pass deflected right into his lap, and he actually gained a yard.
That ball down. You see that? Watch Bynum get up in the air and bat that ball down.
Kid is a stud, man. 5'9", 155, but can just flat out go.
He has no idea he's 5'9", 155. And guess what else? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's in there throwing himself around.
You saying he's got little dog syndrome?
I'm telling you, he could give a flying flip. He's out here to play football.
2nd down and 6. I beg your pardon, 3rd and 6. After a carry for 3 yards there on 2nd and 9. And it looks like that will be the final play of quarter number 3. 37-17. The Melissa Cardinals leading the number 3 team in the state in 3A D1, Pottsboro. Pottsboro trying to make a comeback, trying to make the 4th quarter interesting. We'll hope you'll join us for the 4th here on Friday Night Football. We do want to let you know that next week on Friday Night Football, we have a fantastic football game. The number 2 team in the state in 4A Division I, Waco La Vega, on the road against the number 1 team in the state in 4A Division I, Argyle, in what should be a real fun one. That is next week right here on Friday Night Football. Kickoff at 7:30. We hope you guys will join us then for what is unquestionably the best game in the state of Texas next week.
I'll tell you what, I know this. I've watched 2 halves of La Vega. They can play some defense, Mike Leslie. They will line up and get after you defensively now.
So out of the quarter break, it will be 3rd down and 6 for the Melissa offense. Sam Finnegan will be in shotgun.
3rd and 6 for Melissa. Ball spotted at 37 yards.
Off play action. Finnegan, pressure in his face, trying to scramble for it. Gets outside. He's going to have enough for the first down. Look at Sam Finnegan to go across midfield.
Really good job right there, keeping the play alive with his feet. Pretty good coverage right there from the Pottsboro secondary. As soon as he broke contain, he was up inside, gone.
And that was the biggest thing. The breaking contain was the backbreaker for the Pottsboro defense. As soon as he got outside, Pottsboro had him in the backfield, couldn't keep that contain, and a first down is the result. Now Finnegan's going to go deep up the near sideline behind the defense, leaping and making the catch. Chance Holiday makes the grab inside the 5.
Really good play right there. I'll tell you what, Tyler Ferris made up some ground right there because he was open, and he turned and almost made that play. Couldn't get there, heck of a catch.
Sam Finnegan and the Melissa offense trying to say you can take your comeback and forget about it. 30 seconds into quarter number 4, 1st and goal. Hard count from Finnegan, now looks back to the near sideline to offensive coordinator Jason Russell. On 1st and goal, handoff, Williams, leg drive, short.
It's close, though. It's bad. That might be inside the 1.
Jalen Williams up the middle.
Certainly inside the 2 at minimum, and it's 2nd down and goal, and he'll get the handoff once again. Flags at the snap and a false start.
Looked like Melissa was in motion. They get back to the 6-yard line.
So perhaps they weren't fully set before they snapped the football quick. That is one of the perils of running as fast an offense as they do. Second down and goal, ball sits right at the 7-yard line. Two wides to the top of the formation are Branch and Holiday. Williams, the back in the backfield with Townsley, looking right. Into the end zone, touchdown. Carlos Branch.
Second touchdown for Branch. Pick for a touchdown. Then he catches the slant for a touchdown. Good job.
Heck of a night for Carlos Branch. A 55-yard pick six in the first quarter. And now a touchdown reception here, 1 minute even into quarter number 4. And that might be the backbreaker for whatever hopes Pottsboro had for a comeback, opening the lead back up now to 26. And make it 27 as the extra point is up and through.
Good drive right there by the Melissa offense. That was a good scramble and ability to convert that first down, Mike, that kept the drive alive. They've gone down and scored, and now time is not an ally of Pottsboro. That's the problem. Is you've only got so many possessions in a half.
Yeah. 11 minutes to play and a 27-point deficit for the number 3 team in the state in 3A D1. Melissa has reason to be excited about this football team. There is just so much weaponry for them to work with. Think about it. They've got 2 quarterbacks that have played tonight and played very well, Parker Taylor and Sam Fennigan. 2 running backs that, really 3 running backs that have been outstanding tonight. Jalen Williams, Braden Smith, and Ashton Mitchell-Johnson have all carried the ball well. And then the weaponry on the outside is just an embarrassment of riches. As the kickoff comes up the near sideline, Pottsboro returning it in the hands of Jake Kubik. Kubik found a seam up the middle and gets out across the 25-yard line. But the receiving core for Melissa's stretch is just incredible. Antonio Robinson, Damon Youngblood, Chance Holiday, Bryson Neely had a touchdown reception last week. Colton Whitwer, Carlos Branch, Jack Richardson's got a touchdown catch tonight. Jacob Cusano had a touchdown reception last week. They are loaded in the receiving core, and they can just keep running bodies at you. This is a really talented football team and a dangerous team in 4A D1. We do have a player down on the field after the kickoff return. It's a Melissa Cardinal. Can't get a good read on his number just yet. He did take his helmet off, being tended to by the Melissa training staff, Jose Mendez and Nicholas St. James, their 2 trainers. It appears an assistant coach out there with them as well.
Tale of 2 halves so far, Mike Leslie. So hopefully this young man can get up. He can. Good job. Number 3, Mike. Who is 3?
That's Jack Richardson, who we were just talking about a moment ago, has a touchdown reception on the night, but will limp his way off to the near sideline. Under his own power, which is a good sign. And you hope that's something he can just walk off and perhaps return tonight, or at the very least take it easy with a 27-point lead and be ready to go for Melissa's game next week. Another tough test as they host Stephenville before they start what is a bear of a conference. Paris, Argyle, their first 2 games in district play. Anna, Irving, Rancho, Terrell, and Kaufman, the other teams in the division in that order. That's Melissa's schedule in district play. They've got a tough one, especially at the very top with Paris and Argyle. Handoff running left, and there goes the freshman. There goes the freshman for Pottsboro. Major McBride inside the 35, down inside the 30.
Major McBride on a breakaway run for Pottsboro.
How would you like to have a freshman who can do that, Stretch?
Hey, once he turned that corner right there now, he looked like a track guy to me. He's picking his knees up and pumping them arms. That was a heck of a play by Parrish. It looked like 24. Was it Adger that went and tackled him, made a play on
Paris
all the way
Adger,
on the backside? He can run too.
1st and 10, they'll put it right at the 30-yard line. Plyler's going to take it himself and run forward for 3. But that is the thing for Pottsboro right now, and that's a big help having a big run up the left sideline there in the hands of the freshman McBride because, again, their chances are dwindling as the clock dwindles, but you're going to have to score quick if you want to try and make something of this final 10 minutes and 6 seconds. Plyler barking out directions to the offensive line here before 2nd and 7. 3 wides to the bottom of the formation. Handoff McBride, and he is stood up. Caught a faceful of Caden Nordberg.
Not much there now. They've been running that sweep to the trip side. That time they decided to run it to the single receiver side and got stuffed. Think about it. You're in 2-down territory here. You just need to pick up something to give yourself a positive play.
3rd down and 8 forthcoming here for Plyler. And it'll be an empty set. 2 to the top, 3 to the bottom. With 9:20 to play in the 3rd. Plyler looking left, pressure in his face, scrambles left. Just going to have to take off and run for it and lost the football. Ball on the deck, that ball's still live. Picked up by Melissa. Running back this way for the Cardinals, and he's still on his feet. Finally taken down at the 36-yard line.
Mike, and he lost the football trying to keep his team in an empty set. Anytime they get the pressure on you and then you have to scramble out, he got into that boundary over there, fumbled that ball.
And Caleb Otluski comes up with the football. He's a young man who was called up from JV to varsity because of the injuries that Melissa has had to their quarterbacks. He's the starting quarterback on JV, or at least that was the plan. Then 2 quarterbacks went down due to injury. First Parker Taylor, then Ryan Johnson. So Otluski gets pulled up from JV to be the backup to Sam Fennigan these first couple of weeks as Fennigan became the starter, originally the 3rd string quarterback for Melissa. And now Otluski making plays on the defensive side of the ball for Melissa, picking up the fumble of Braden Plyler, and now it's back in the hands of the Melissa Cardinals. Already with 44 points on the board and looking for more. And Taylor's going to go deep up the seam. Has another man behind the defense and in and out of the hands of Jacob Cusano.
Took a deep shot right there. I tell you what, Melissa doesn't believe in letting up off the accelerator. I can tell you that. Hey, I said you're gonna bring your starting quarterback back. You know what? We're gonna press it. We're gonna press the accelerator offensively.
2nd down and
step in. They're already ready to go snap the ball again.
There is no brake pedal at all. 2nd down and 10. Under 9 to play here, 4th quarter, and Melissa has just poured it on the Pottsboro Cardinals. 44 already on the board. On the year, they've averaged 41.3 a game. Last year averaged 45 a game, and they're right about at that number right now. And still plenty of time left to go. Adger with the carry. The junior running back. Picked up about 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. Melissa's offense took the starch out of whatever comeback attempt Pottsboro had cooking real quick. And again, just a bullet right up the middle and right on Carlos Branch, and another 1st down for Melissa. Parker Taylor can sling it.
Post route. Really good job on that inside post. Boy, this quarterback will sling it too now. He ain't afraid to let it rip at all.
Matt Nally said to me this week, he's very impressed with Sam Fennigan has done through these first couple of weeks of the season. Last week, 424 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. But he said, we got to get Parker Taylor on the field too. It'll be a little bit of a 2-quarterback system. It's a nice run here by Adger really once again.
Run right there. That's as good a 1.5-yard run as you'll see. They had him for a 3-yard loss.
Offsides against Pottsboro.
So you can take the play off the board. It'll be 1st and 5 after the 5-yard penalty for Pottsboro's defense being offside. Real quick as they're setting the football roll, can we get a shot of this near side light and just how buggy it is here at Melissa? We are playing a football game in the middle of like a locust storm. Can we get a shot just right here of this light real quick as they set the football? Maybe we do it after this play as they're back to the line of scrimmage as well, and we know how quickly Melissa snaps the football. We'll try and get you guys a shot. There are bugs everywhere here at Cardinal Stadium as Adger carries up the middle again and nearly broke out of 3 Pottsboro defenders. Yeah, maybe now we can get a shot of it real quick just to show you guys. I mean, there are bugs. I mean, that's the only place we can actually show you what we're dealing with, but they're all over our table. They're all over every fan in-house. It is kind of crazy out here, and that's what these players are dealing with as well. Flags at the snap just to give us enough time to get back to action here. Thank you, Raul. I appreciate you bearing with us there. And then I'll walk it back.
They call crickets down here in Texas. Those are crickets.
I mean, but what are these? Those aren't crickets.
No, those aren't crickets. I don't know what them be.
I mean, they are everywhere. Everywhere. Like playing a football game in a swamp. 2nd down and 7 after the penalty. And again, they go to the air, and again, it's Taylor over the middle, bouncing off of the tackle is Colton Whitworth, hanging onto the football, and he's got a 1st down. That kid is tough.
Well, these receivers are tough. Now, they catch the ball in tight areas as good as anybody.
1st and 10, and again, this Melissa offense is down inside the 25. 1st and 10 at the 21, and it's Taylor again with Adger to his left in the backfield, and Adger will take the handoff off right guard, pushing forward, and down close to the 15. Melissa is dangerous. They're dangerous for Paris. They're dangerous for Argyle, I would even argue. This is a really, really talented football team. And Melissa versus Argyle in 2 weeks, as over the middle, complete again, into the end zone, touchdown again. On the receiving end for Melissa is Bryson Neely. He had a touchdown grab last week. He's got another one this week, and the junior makes it an even half 100 on the board for the Melissa Cardinals.
Good throw and catch right there. This team can flat execute, I'll tell you that. And you know what? They stemmed the tide of the adversity that they got from Plyler, because he came out and brought his team right back in it. Now they've scored 2 times in a row and really put this game on ice.
50. What a performance from the Melissa offense. A timeout for Melissa before the extra point here. Give you another look at the bug situation here. Thanks, Raul. Raul Garcia, our photographer extraordinaire. Also, in many ways, our engineer for this broadcast, too. You should see the work this man does pregame to get us set up and ready to broadcast.
Number 77, Blake Carrico.
A 50-burger from the Melissa offense against the number 3 team in the state in 3A Division I.
I'd like to know who the first 2 or who's ahead of them. I'd like to see those 2 teams play.
Ahead of Pottsboro?
No, who's ahead of Melissa?
Oh, they are just on the outside of the top 10 in 4A Division I, Melissa is. I'll pull up the top 10 rankings here in just a moment as the extra point is up and through off the foot of Luke Hansen, 51-17. Melissa's offense has just been electric tonight.
This Melissa team is really good offensively, and they've got speed. I mean, they what I like about this team is they run. I mean, they run at the skill positions, and they are really good, disciplined at playing man coverage. That's what they call a cricket, Mikey.
Yeah, man, they're everywhere. I talked with Matt Nally, I beg your pardon, Matt Nally from the Melissa Cardinals earlier this week. These 2 teams are confusing me all night here, Stretch. You've got Cardinals versus Cardinals, and the 2 head coaches, both of their first names are Matt. Matt Poe and Matt Nally. Matt Poe from the Pottsboro Cardinals, Matt Nally from the Melissa Cardinals. Talking with Matt Nally from Melissa earlier this week, it was very clear that he is very impressed with the team that he's got and the depth that he's got. In talking with him, it felt like he wanted to say that this is the most excited he's ever been about a football team that he's been the head coach of, but he kind of stops. Coaches obviously love every iteration of their team, and they're all different, and they love them in different ways. And I don't think he wanted to besmirch any of the other teams that he's had, be it here at Melissa or elsewhere. But you can tell he is excited about what this football team can be, and they are putting a hurting right now on Pottsboro.
And after coming out here and watching them, I can understand why. Easy
Kickoff.
to understand why.
No doubt. Nice return out to the 32-yard line.
Nice return out to the 31.
Jake Kubik bringing it back. So you mentioned the 4A Division I state rankings. We talked about Argyle and La Vega. By the way, that is our game here on Friday Night Football 1 week from today. Argyle number 1, Waco La Vega number 2, Lampasas number 3, Dumas number 4, Corpus Christi Miller, the number 5 team in the state in 4A D1, and then El Campo, Corpus Christi Calallen, Port Lavaca Calhoun, Midlothian Heritage, and Bernie.
I think Calallen and La Vega are playing tonight. Correct? Is that?
Yes, sir. Calallen and La Vega playing right now. As a matter of fact, I wonder if we can get a score update on that as we see a flag out here on the football field once again.
Got one too many on the field here. Five receivers and a running back, last I checked. Mikey, they're trying to play Canadian football now. They're putting 12 out there.
That's not going to work. Not here in America.
Not here in Texas is it going to work either.
Nope.
These officials do a good job understanding the game.
It would appear, if the official La Vega Athletics Twitter account is to be trusted, and I would think that's about as good a source as you're going to find, as Branch carries it up the left side. La Vega with the win tonight over Calallen, 21-13.
I'm sorry, Mike, what did you say again?
21-13, La Vega beat Calallen tonight.
Wow. La Vega is a good football team. That's going to be a great game next week.
Meanwhile, I'll check on Argyle. 2nd down and 6, handoff up the middle. It is a shame that we didn't get to see Braden Plyler for all 4 quarters tonight. What a different game this could have been. Instead of 51-17, it might be 51-48 right now if Braden Plyler had played all 4 quarters. But
he is a playmaker and a heck of a player, and he's the leader on that football team, and you can tell when he came into the game, it was a completely different football game.
He put a little jolt of life into this place for the first half of the 3rd quarter as a nice catch is made, skying to make the grab is Jude Bentley.
Got a first down. It's a good throw and catch. He knew to put it up to his big guy, and you know what? He knew he was going to take a lick right there. Mikey went up and got the football and made the first down conversion. This Pottsboro team has not quit.
No, not at all. Not at all. Meanwhile, Argyle also getting a decent test tonight, playing Salina tonight. They lead 35-21 in the 4th quarter. So some work left to do, but...
You know, it's been unfortunate, Mike, with the COVID and the way that, only the 4A and below have played. However, it's brought some new light to some of these 4A programs who they play really good football at the 4A level.
1st and 10 for Plyler out of shotgun at the 44. Under 5 minutes to play here in the 4th, and this one is all over but the crying. They made it interesting for a moment, got within 20 there in the 3rd quarter, and I think if they'd been able to score when they took over with about $1:30 to play in the 3rd quarter, if they had been able to go down and score a touchdown there, make it 37-24, then it gets interesting.
Yeah.
They weren't able to do that. Melissa made a good defensive stop to get off the football field, and then right back down the field went Melissa to make it 44-17 early on in the 4th quarter, and it was over. John Lasker mentioning in our YouTube comments that Argyle is in Melissa's district. Yes, they've got a very difficult district this year up the middle. Did he make that catch? He's holding the football out trying to say to the officials that he made the grab. Back judge says, no, sir. Yeah, Melissa's got
He tried to feed it into that middle of the field empty situation where he could, bend his receiver in there. Just wasn't able to make the play. Brings up a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, John Lasker noting that Argyle's in Melissa's district. They play on the 2nd of October. Melissa at Argyle. That game, they might put 150 points on the board between the two teams in that game. I might not be kidding. I mean, easily I think they'll score 80 to 100 without trying.
Be tough to stop both of those offenses.
Yeah.
I know what. I mean, I'm glad you're having me on the broadcast tonight. I'm glad to come up here because this was a fun, and it looks like a 51-17. That's a score, but I'm going by the second half. In the second half, it's 21-14.
Yeah. Much different football game once Braden Plyler came on the field, but unfortunately for Pottsboro, it was too late by the time he got on the football field, already down 30-3 at halftime. Fourth down conversion here on 4th down and 7. They pick it up on a little pop pass on the left-hand side.
Great job. You know what? That kid read the defense right there, just took the football, raised up, and hit his slot.
Drake Hunter on the receiving end, and a point that you've made a couple times tonight, no quit in this Pottsboro football team, racing back to the line of scrimmage for 1st and 10 here at the 41, trying to make every bit of this 3:15 that they've got left. Branch coming near side, and just look at the defense from Melissa. And that's something that Matt Nally said to me this week as well. He said this is their defense, they feel like, is what sets them apart. As great as their offense is, as deep as their offense is, as talented as their offense is, he said their defense causing turnovers, getting big stops, scoring defensive touchdowns as they did last week and this week. That he feels like sets them apart.
Yes, this defensively they can run. That separates you when you've got speed on that side.
2nd down and a dozen after the loss of 2 by Branch. Plyler going to the air, has a man up the seam, and just a bit too far. Honestly, I think if Drake Hunter had just kept running instead of trying to run with his hands out in front of him, he might have been able to run underneath it. But
I'll tell you, I'll give Melissa credit too. They've lined up and played man coverage all night tonight and just said, you know what, beat us if you can.
we do appreciate you guys joining us here on Friday Night Football on the WFAA YouTube channel. 3rd down and a dozen. Throw on the left-hand side in and out of the hands of Drake Hunter, who made the catch on the 4th down conversion just a few moments ago. This time can't hang on. It'll be 4th down.
They'll have to go for it
again.
on 4th and about long 12 or 13 right here. Melissa trying to get some of their younger players some experience. I haven't seen this corner down in the game. Oh, they go empty here.
5 wide.
Got problems. They don't have enough down here. Here he goes. He got him walked out there.
Plyler, time, now flushed. Big block behind him to get him free. Still with trouble in his face.
Looks like Fran Tarkenton over there.
Look at this kid run. Look at Braden Plyler go on 4th and 12. To the near side. Can he get to the 1st down marker? Not quite, but a flag at the end of the play.
Did they get a crackback block right there?
I think they may have.
Get a face mask?
It's either a face mask on the tackle or, like you say, a crackback block is coming through to make the play. Was Cooper Dobbs to try and spring Plyler a little bit more. But look at Braden Plyler
like Fran
go.
Tarkenton running around back there. We'll get plenty of people say, who the hell's Fran Tarkenton?
We'll see what the flag is here. Looks like it is going to go against Melissa. I beg your pardon, against Pottsboro, as the Pottsboro defense is already making their way on the football
They're not going to take the penalty. They'll decline the penalty because they get the football.
Right.
There you go.
So with 2:10 on the clock in the 4th, Melissa takes over.
Let's see if Melissa offense can. Do they have a victory O at this place? Are they going to go? Are they going to go 100 miles an hour here, Mike?
Well, I guess we'll see here in just a moment whether or not they slow down in any way, shape, or form. Up by 34 here. Take a look ahead on our Friday Night Football broadcast schedule. Waco, La Vega, and Argyle a week from today. Number 2 in the state at number 1 in the state is a nice run up the middle. A pickup of about 9 on the play is Jesse Izquierdo in the football game for the first time today with a nice carry. The week after that, we finally see 5A and 6A football come back, and the number 1 team in the state in 5A Division II, Ennis, on the road against the number 9 team in the state in 5A D1 Red Oak. That's on September 25th. And then this one should be an awful lot. I mean, both of those two games should be great. October 2nd, number 1 team in the state in 5A D1 Denton Ryan, who last year played for a state championship, as Izquierdo taking it up the left sideline. Look at him go inside the 30-yard line. Number 1 Denton Ryan, top team in 5A D1, played for a state title last year. On the road, kind of on the road. They're playing in Denton against their fellow Denton school. The number 5 team in the state in 6A, Denton Geyer, who also played for a state championship last year in 6A D2. That is your matchup on October 2nd right here on Friday Night Football. That should be a fantastic game. Little creative way to carry the football by Izquierdo there.
And he may be coming out of the game for that right there, too.
They're going to discuss that a little bit on the sideline as this young man is showing some running ability, but you need to protect the football a little bit better than that. You want to see a little more security for sure. But a couple of nice runs for him, including that last one up the left sideline just a moment ago. Under a minute to play here in week 3 of the high school football season, as Melissa has been exceptionally impressive. Hand off to Adger, running right. Slipping a couple tackles, still on his feet inside the 25. Nice run.
That should do it right there. Let's see if
it can be the final snap of the football game if Melissa wants it to be.
And they do.
And Matt Nally's going to bring his team to the near sideline, and that will do it. 51-17, a dominant performance from Melissa. Offensively and defensively, a fantastic performance from the Cardinals in a convincing win over the number 3 team in the state in 3A D1, the Pottsboro Cardinals. Pottsboro opened the scoring today, Stretch, with a field goal from Jacob McDonald 5 minutes and 23 seconds into the football game. After that, it was all Melissa. There was a brief moment there early in the third quarter where Braden Plyler made it a little bit interesting, got it down within 20. And again, this game could have been so much different had he played all 4 quarters.
Well,
Gave us a little jolt to life, but not quite enough to bring him over the top.
I'm still saying this, Mike. Since he came in the game, we've got a 21-14 football game. That's the second half. That's something that these Pottsboro coaches are going to build on, and they're going to say, hey, you know what, we played tit for tat with them the second half. I'd be willing to bet you that's what they're going to focus on, and that's what they're going to try to tell their football team.
They know full well just how good a football team they really are. 15-0 run straight to the state championship game and lost in the state title game against Grandview by just 7 points. So they know just how talented they are, what they've got coming back this year, and what they think they can accomplish this season. They want to go win a state championship. They want to take that final step this year. This doesn't change that. Frankly, this game doesn't matter in the pursuit of that, a non-district game. What matters is their district games. Same can be said for Melissa. But you've got to be, if you are the Melissa Cardinals, incredibly confident going into district play with what they've done these first 3 weeks of the season. They've got one more non-district game against Stephenville on this field 1 week from tonight, and then they play Paris at home, Argyle on the road in their first 2 district games, and those will be 2 big tests. We saw Paris last week. Their defense is really, really strong, and they've got a funky wing T offense that is very difficult to defend. That is their first district game, and then the number 1 team in the state in 4A D1, Argyle, on the road for these Melissa Cardinals. Yep. You better be ready, and they certainly look it right now.
I'm telling you, if you have the Melissa Cardinals on your schedule, you better be ready to play some defense. Mm-hmm. You better be ready to get up and down the field because this team can go.
Coming up on Friday Night Football, Waco, La Vega, and Argyle next week. Number 2 at number 1 in the state It should be a fantastic football game. We really hope you'll join us for that one. And then, as we mentioned before, number 1 Ennis at number 9 Red Oak the 25th, number 1 Denton Ryan at number 5 Denton Geyer October 2nd, Colleyville Heritage at Euless Trinity on October 9th, and Frisco Lone Star, the number 2 team in the state in 5AD1 at Frisco Independence, a team that is one of the top 15 5AD1 teams in the state on October 16th. Those are your next 5 broadcasts right here on Friday Night Football, every one of them on the WFAA YouTube channel. And we will bring all of that to you. But tonight, a fantastic performance from the Melissa Cardinals. Ashton Mitchell-Johnson with a couple of touchdown runs in the first half. Sam Fennigan with 3 touchdown passes, 1 to Jack Richardson, 1 to Carlos Branch, and then 1 to Chance Holiday. Parker Taylor with a touchdown pass to Bryson Neely to finish it off. 51 on the board from a remarkably efficient and effective Melissa Cardinals offense as they run roughshod over the number 3 team in the state in 3AD1 Pottsboro. Stretch, your final thoughts on just a dominant performance.
Yeah, dominant by Melissa. A better second half of football when Plyler was able to play, but overall Melissa came out here, did what they needed to do offensively and defensively, and really handled this football game well.
That'll do it for us here on Friday Night Football, folks. Thanks so much for joining us here. For Glenn Smith and our photographer and executive producer and engineer, and just, I can't say enough good things about what Raul Garcia did tonight to make this broadcast happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to both of the coaches, Matt Nally and Matt Poe, for being so generous with their time and information about their football teams over the course of this week. Without their help and support, a broadcast like this just is not possible. Next week, we head to Argyle, number 1 and number 2 in the state. We hope you'll join us on Friday Night Football. Good night, everybody. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.